gonna steal all side, ride me, baby. I ain't never gonna stop. Come on now, baby. Ride me straight to the top. To the top. Yeah, straight to the top.
Bad ideas, good stories.
Numero 8.
8 already, man.
Hello.
What does that work out to? 1 a week. That's 2 months we've been doing this.
I guess so.
Seems like forever.
Yeah.
So long a time ago.
A glimmer in time.
So long ago. Once upon a time, there was a glimmer in our eye, and we decided to come up with a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, we've got a guest, and this guy is one of my other brothers from another mother. One of the oldest friends that I have in the community to this day. Well, I've got some guys I've known forever, but back in the day, there was a glimmer in our eye. And
yeah. Before it went all wrong.
This is Csik. Csik is his name, is his professional name. Do you want to talk about your real name or just your pseudonym?
Oh, it doesn't really matter, whatever you feel.
Darren Wolf, yeah?
Yeah, no, people know me. Cops know me, people know me, friends know me.
Now, why would police know you, Darren? Okay, just joking. Darren, for those people that don't know, is one of the most well-known but under-known, I guess, artists in town. You know, he's done graffiti, he's done pinstriping, he's does body work, he does helmets, murals, you name it. What other stuff do you do or have you done? Not always.
Airbrushing, carving, sculpting, fabricating, sand sculptures.
Sand sculptures?
Nah, fuck, I probably did that once, but whatever.
Body painting.
Yeah. No, I had the chance
Trained
to
an
do
elephant
body
one
painting.
time.
Yeah. I had the chance to do body painting. I think that's not my bag.
Oh, it's my bag. I'm just no good at it.
Well, all right.
You painting on bodies or with your body?
I pay both, right? If I can get away with it.
It's just all starfishes.
What are we putting on the table here, right?
Just to see what it feels.
Multicolored starfishes.
See, and that's just it. I'm an extroverted personality. You're an extroverted and
Extra perverted. That's
extra perverted personality. And Csik's a bit quiet, so he's a little nervous, but we dragged him out. I love this guy. I love this guy.
I love you too, brother. I have always been a bit introverted, but
well, see, that's what's interesting to me about you is that you are so introverted, but then your art is so big. You know, it's so incredibly talented to begin with, but then a lot of times your pieces are large, like your graffiti work and
size.
It's just fucking huge, man. And I'm even making art on that size and scale, and you got this guy who's so humble about it. It's always kind of mind blowing to me because I'm I think you'd have to be someone with a fair bit of bravado to want to go out and I'm painting a whole fucking wall, man.
In the middle of the night, and I might get arrested. Yeah, and we don't do anything criminal.
And it's just the chillest dude ever.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Too old, too fat to run. Yeah, but yeah, and there's a lot of graffiti heads or a lot of graffiti people that do have that exploded, character about themselves and try to have that cocky attitude or what have you, right? You know who the fuck I am? I know you know, right?
It's the game.
You know who the fuck I am? Well, it is a game, and you got to play the game.
And are those guys usually strong artists too, or is that kind of people
sometimes
they're one part of the scene? You know what I mean?
No, man. Some of the best artists, the most humble people ever, and some of the most shitty artists are the most cocky ones, right?
True. Well, what was it? There's that Killer Priest song, and there's too many rappers in the East want to be gangsters. Too many gangsters in the West want to be rappers. And I always thought that was good with tattooing and graffiti and everything else. You got gangsters that want to be artists, and you got artists that want to be gangsters or outlaws, right?
right. And
then there's a lot of gray area in between there, right?
Yeah, pick a fucking subculture, honestly, right? Hot rods, motorcycles, rock and roll. Hey, everybody, there's gangster elements to all of those.
I like outlaw,
totally.
Right?
Well, and with graffiti, there's a ton of different aspects of it too, right? So you can be a straight up tagger, or you can be a straight up bomber, and all you give a fuck about is getting your name out there. Write my name on graffiti on the wall, right? All you want to do is fucking scribble your shit everywhere, and people see it, and that's one thing. Like Cap.
Well, a lot of people that aren't familiar with graffiti, right? I have to explain to them right from the get-go, it's a game. And it's a game played for the players. So you're out there and you're trying to get recognized in the community of players.
One way or another.
Yeah, you're trying to get up. So everybody in that city who's into the game of graffiti knows that you're a player. I know that name. I see that there. You know, I know
Right.
who's that guy. And that's the game. No matter with your tagging, which is the little kind of scribbles hand style thing. Bombing is kind of like the bubble letters, but real like 2 colors usually, you know. And then there's pieces, you know, and that's how I first started knowing Csik is way back in the day. I think I came back from Calgary when I was tattooing in like 96. I got into graffiti out there. And then I came back to Saskatoon like maybe in my early 20s. And I didn't know what the fuck I still don't know how to do graffiti. But I was bombing everywhere. And I was just doing dumb, huge things in public places because I had enough balls that I wasn't worried about getting caught. And I was getting a reputation and pissing off a lot of people, but I didn't know that these other guys in town were actually noticing me. You know what I mean? I was just expressing myself and pissing off some people, so I pissed off the wrong guy, and that's when we met. And we just, that's when...
What a beautiful fucking segue, right? Pissed off the wrong guy, and that's when we met.
Yeah.
And that guy
I
was
told-
We've been friends ever
Beelzebub.
since.
Well, I met you in Decay. Well, I knew Decay from high school, right? And he was one of the talented guys. I remember seeing his stuff under the bridge. He was doing like
Right.
Dead Kennedys and DRI logos
Yeah, that's
and
right,
stuff
yeah.
like that. And but it was all with aerosol. So I knew who was doing that. And I'm like, wow, he's really talented. But then this incident happened where I got a gun pulled on me in the train yard for pissing off the wrong little guy in the graffiti crew.
Episode 3, I believe.
Yeah, was it?
I
Three?
don't remember
We
talking
talked
about
about
that,
it.
but yeah.
I remember listening to that one too.
And I had and I've been doing a little tattooing. You know, I just started the shop maybe, or I was hoping to start the shop. And Decay reached out to me and he's like, "Hey man, there's a guy from that graffiti crew that wants to meet you." And I'm like, "Fuck those guys." I was so furious at the world. I'm like, I don't give a shit about them. Fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want. But he's like, he's cool, you know. And so we met at like I think it was a Robin's Donuts on 8th Street. And I bring some design sheets, and Csik's sitting there with his I don't know about this guy. Of course, he's like just out of his teens, you know. And then we actually sat down and shot the shit, and we got along really well. And I really, really liked Csik, you know.
That's
And-
right. I remember that coffee shop stop.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, I totally remember that.
Nobody else is gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, you know how fucking rare that someone's gonna come into that kind of environment and then be like, "Oh, you gotta meet this guy," and you go, "Okay, I guess we'll go to some weird coffee shop and meet, and then just become fucking friends."
Well,
that's
it's
amazing.
done,
Like,
man.
you guys are
Fuck,
supposed to
that's-
fucking hang out.
That's how me and Decay and Danny became friends as well. Is because that we had heard of Danny and or Danny had heard of us or something, and we wanted to get together for a sit down. So we said, "Let's get together for a beer." We met at Earl's. Danny brought a buddy of his,
just for backup.
and
He thought he was gonna get jumped in the alley.
Yeah, the 4 of us sat down and showed some sketchbooks and photos and shit, and it was like, "Oh, cool, man. Well, maybe we should do this again sometime." And fuck, that's been 15 years ago.
See, like my trajectory was towards tattooing. I didn't stay with graffiti, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I remember going to the train yard back in the day, the same train yard I got in shit for spray painting in, and there was an abandoned building, and you had to kind of
Yep.
figure out how to get in. There was like a little hole, and you move this little slide, and you can get in there.
That's right.
And the place was like ceiling to floor, covered with like real nice murals, and like I had photos of it. I think I still have them in an album somewhere.
I got him in some too.
Yeah, and some of the stuff that like Csik was one of the best guys putting stuff up, and I'm like, who is this Csik guy? Who's this Csik? And then we actually got to meet. I'm like, well, fuck. You know, in my mind, there was a few players in the graffiti days that were like really standout. There's Theory and Rove. Like these were like bros that went out and did pieces together, and they did a lot of like trains mostly. They didn't hit up walls as much. You know, they weren't really. I think they would hit the train yards, and then your train goes across the country. And then there was Decay and Csik. And in my mind, as things went on, I didn't see Theory and Rove stuff for a long time. I like to think that Danny and Csik and Decay are the 3 best graffiti guys in town. Especially now that they've kind of retired from doing anything illegal. You know what I mean? They're on to like high-end murals.
Right. Well, and the art that came that's branching off from that too. Like your guys' pinstriping, like
Yeah.
fucking Decay's world renowned for that shit. You
Well,
know?
yeah, he's
Like,
in some pretty serious car
your
clubs and
guys'
shit like that.
you guys always
Yeah.
like this sign. I think anybody I
Yes.
know who has a sign that looks anything near to that, you've done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd
Like,
like to redo that one.
You're
Oh,
the
it's
guy.
not good enough.
Yeah, it's
No,
like
it's
every
not.
tattoo I've ever
My
done.
lettering has come a long ways since then, right? Lettering is totally different than pinstriping, and it's really difficult. it's taking on something completely different. Just because you use the same paint, you're using different brushes and different strokes and a different approach and layout and form and spacing and blah blah. It's fucking difficult. It really is.
I guess it'd be hard too because like people know how letters are supposed to look together. So like if any of your fucking scale and shit's kind of fucked, it looks really fucked. Whereas anything else, like, well, I made this. This is how it could look.
Yeah.
Like letters, you're like, well, no, they gotta fucking look like letters.
Well, and a lot of the letters that I've been trying to do have been traditional sign painting, single stroke, casual style, where it's one try, do or die. You've got one
old style.
stroke. Yeah. You're not coming back and touching it up 12 times.
That's your purest heart.
It's it's fucking you got one shot at one try, do or die, right?
Yeah,
You either do it or you don't.
Well,
Back to that warehouse though, man. That warehouse, that was a fun one. Resto was one of the first ones I knew that broke into that place with a
course he
fucking
was.
screwdriver, and it was very off limits. Like nobody knew about that fucking joint for the first like 2 or 3 years. It was empty. Nobody knew about it. We just go and snoop around, smoke dope, and fucking bomb the shit. And then then we started showing up with a couple guys and doing pieces and such. Like, then the board started getting broken open, and more hobos started living in it, so it was more of a
edgy environment to go
it
visit.
wasn't necessarily edgy. It was just open for everybody.
That's probably when I kind of got in there, and because I think that was like '98 is when I came back from Calgary, and me and you remember Mike Bloom? You know, he
Name's
wrote
familiar.
Acrid, and he wrote
name's
and you know,
familiar.
and that's just it. He didn't stop. He annoyed the fuck out of everybody.
He killed the city. He was up everywhere. Right?
He's just, he was a maniac. That's all he wanted to do is go tag and tag and tag and pop.
You know, style and composition secondary. Getting up first.
You mentioned Cap in New York City, and what was that, the 70s? It was Wild Style, wasn't that it?
Yep. Late 70s.
And so this guy in New York City, he wasn't the nicest graffiti
he hated
guy.
everybody. Fucking hated everybody.
And he wasn't good. He covered your shit. You pissed him off. He's covering your shit forever.
He's still around. Fuck, that dude is still around, man.
And that's the thing. So these young guys that were super talented would go and they'd be doing nice pieces.
Yep.
But for some reason, they pissed off this big old white guy who apparently the rumor carried a gun when he went doing graffiti shit. And so when they pissed this guy off, whenever he found your piece, no matter where it was destroyed. He would just do his like tag cap over top of it.
Bomb.
And you know, I've wondered more than a couple times if maybe that's where the term getting a cap in your ass came from. Because if that guy's in New York City when hip hop started out, and he's Cap, and he's carrying a pistol in the graffiti crowd, you know, maybe.
Capping your or putting a cap in your ass was more kind of hip hop gangster. It wasn't necessarily derived from graffiti.
See, and
You don't
I
think
always
that
thought it
those
was
are
cat
too
in
late?
your ass.
Cat?
Cat in your ass.
Like a
Cat in your ass.
That's not right.
Cat in your ass. Well, you know, and that's the thing, right?
You get a cat in your ass.
Where graffiti and hip hop and like the New York hardcore, like all of that stuff developed in the same environments, like Brooklyn, like in the late 70s, early 80s, right? And
Wild Style is a perfect example of that, right? And Beat Street, right?
Get it up to me,
Like-
baby, do the Beat Street stuff. Anyways,
Like it's but there's always been the taggers and the bombers and the writers and artists and such, right? So I mean, there's not a lot of people that put themselves in every category. There's a lot of talented graffiti artists that I know, but never wanted to risk getting arrested, so they never bombed. You never seen them up, but when you seen them, it was a beautiful fucking piece.
I called those guys the backyard practicers, and that's
there's
what
a
really
lot of
drove
them.
me up the wall.
There's a lot of them.
Because I was one of those guys that never had a backyard to practice. I practiced in the alleys, and I was going to get busted, or or on like train yard walls, or on city, like under the bridges, where you never really had the time to like perfect your skills with mommy and daddy's fucking checkbook and fence. While
They got that fence money.
they got that family fence money in the garage. And so I see a lot of these guys that were able to sit in the backyard and like perfect their stuff and like bounce ideas off of them.
Order their paint and take their time and shit.
They didn't even have to pay for it. They weren't racking paint, because that was another part of graffiti back in the day is like, if you can't afford it, you're still getting paint. So you go to the hardware store and you're like, what's that over there? And you run out the door.
Right. I got stories about that too. But
paint racking, don't worry, the statutes of limitations run out.
Oh, fuck. Well, yeah.
Nobody's coming
I'm too
after
old
us
and
for
fat
hacking
to run.
me.
Well, it could all be hearsay. Nobody's gonna.
Yeah, I heard a
fucking
story
trust
about a
an old
guy.
fat
I think you guys are mostly full of bullshit most of the time. Anyway.
I heard a
I've seen-
story
I've seen
about a
other people
guy.
picking up all these fucking photos.
Fake it till you make it, man. Fake it till you make it.
So I remember being young too downtown, breaking into places for entertainment. That was just something that we did when we were little street urchin shitheads. You know, we'd find a building that like kick in the window in the basement. Oh, this whole apartment complex has like been abandoned, or this huge fucking building's been abandoned. This is our playground now, and that's a weird element. Like that's urban playground shit, and I don't think people.
That's the urban wilderness. Like,
Yeah,
back home,
right.
fuck, you just drive onto the bush and go and wander around.
Yeah,
right?
for
And
sure.
Whatever mischief you could.
But you might even come across an abandoned like water treatment
Church.
center or something like
Yeah.
that. when you're
Old
doing
shit
that.
all the time out there.
Yeah.
Somebody yelling at you for it.
Old
But in the
barns.
city, yeah, we would just like that was our urban playground. You know, I remember one time, me and a bunch of other guys from different schools, we all would meet at the old school water treatment plant after school and take times with the hacksaw hacking through the bars they had so we couldn't get into the place. So finally we got in there, and man, that place was nuts. There was asbestos falling from, there was areas from the ceiling, there was areas that must have been 40, 50 feet deep, all full of river water with huge chunks of styrofoam that people are walking around. And
Jesus
so
Christ.
so these guys get on there and they've got like huge chunks of metal on these big huge chunks of styrofoam, and they're trying to like gondola their way across, and all of a sudden the big metal thing they're using to push themselves, they hit something and it falls out from under their hands. It just goes down. That thing was like 15, 20 feet long, and they're like, all right, yeah. So that was our playground. And you know, well, I remember one of my buddies got busted for breaking and entering. Well, actually, two of them, and like they're running away from the cops in one of these abandoned buildings, and finally the cops get them on the ceiling or on the roof. And me and my group of friends were like, why'd you get arrested for? We're just having fun. We didn't even clue in that what we're actually doing is illegal. We're just investigating the city.
Yeah,
you know?
this shitty old building nobody's fucking with. Why
Yeah,
should we
you're
fuck
thinking,
with
nobody
it?
gives a shit about this building. Look at it. You
Yeah.
know, what do we care? We're
Just
running
nearly
around here.
dying the
Oh,
whole
it's
time.
just like the downtown train yard warehouse there. Like, have you ever been in the basement there?
No.
Yeah, there's no lights. Yeah, you find an old textbook or an old binder and start ripping up paper, and there'd be 2 or 3 of us. So I'm ripping up paper and handing it to you, lighting it to keep the torch going
Jesus.
until the basement's too flooded out. You can't go any farther. Oh, it was fucking scary, man. It was really, it was really fun snooping around that place.
Well, that's all you're really doing is snooping around and exploring, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna light the place on fucking fire. You're not gonna hurt the hobos.
Well, that's where the police station is now. Hurt the hobos. It's probably the other way around. You know,
It's,
some random rubby is going to come after you for fucking around in his neighborhood.
Right? No, you're right though. The new cop shop is a couple hundred yards away from where that warehouse was, and I got arrested right in that same warehouse too.
For doing graffiti or for breaking and entering?
For doing graffiti.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they caught us. Well, they caught me with a backpack full of paint and such. So, inevitably, I got let go at the end of it all. So I was never really charged with anything. You remember Doc? He walked the beat a lot.
Oh,
and-
yes, I know.
yeah,
Doc.
that dude, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
at Lydia's, be posted up at the bar.
Well, I remember
That
him one time telling me, I told him that I didn't like cops. He's like, I get it. I could take this badge off and we could settle it one-on-one.
He would.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
That's like Demon's father-in-law.
No.
Yeah, he had a baby with his daughter, actually.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm
we
like, you
probably
poor
shouldn't
fucker.
be talking
Cut
about
it,
this.
so,
Oh, yeah. Cut.
Great.
I got off on that when there's a few of us that got pinched. There was 3 of us hanging out. One guy jumped away. There was 3 cops that showed up. There was 2 of us that got busted. Buddy got stuck with 2 cops. I got stuck with Doc.
Oh, okay.
Doc choked me.
I bet he did. I
I
think
got-
Doc liked choking people. He's from a different generation of
No,
cop.
he totally. He was not impressed with me at all.
And little shit's trying to get away.
Yeah. And they let me walk after that.
Did you end up catching a charge, or?
No, I did not. I got stuck in the car for an hour or so, and I never talked to Doc after that. One of the other dudes fucking talked to me, and he was like, "Look, man, kind of sorry about what happened there. He's been pretty frustrated kicking kids and hobos out of this place for the last little while, so
Don't tell anybody. He'll let you go.
kind of got a little aggressive on you there, and sorry, but your buddy here, he's got some previous charges. We're gonna take him down." It's like, fuck, man, he didn't have to do that. Fuck, for real. I would like.
I only got one throat. I only got one
Right?
throat.
So I fucking walked my ass home, And homeboy that ran away was hiding behind a dumpster. He was like, he met me at my parents' basement and knocked on my window. He was like, "Dude, are you okay? I can't believe you made it home. I watched the whole fucking thing happen behind a dumpster."
Being strangled by this cop.
Right? And he's like, "Holy shit." So I went outside and talked to him. I was like, "Man, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe you got away." And then before you know it, homeboy's walking lived right across the street from a schoolyard. So you see somebody walking across a schoolyard, and we're like, Shane, is that you? It's like, yeah. He came over, he's like, fuck, they didn't pat me down, I got a joint in my sock. Like, so what they do? Promise to appear. Like, that's fuck all, right on. So we smoked the joint, and we're like, hey, can't believe that happened, boys. And we all lived happily ever after. No real charges or no real nothing. It was just a really fucking messed up night.
What's the worst that you ever knew somebody getting for graffiti? Getting, like, charged?
Oh, it happens.
Cleanup crew, or, you know?
No, there's never no cleanup crew. Probably the worst I think that I know of is my homeboy Csik that got pinched real bad, and they really made an example of him. They broke into his parents' house. They took his laptop, his computers, his photo albums, his sketchbooks, his tips, his paint, his everything.
They went on a little bit of a rampage, an anti-graffiti rampage there for a while. Weren't they taking away people's, like, driver's license, or?
Well, I don't know anything about that, but he was on house arrest for quite some time, and they, like, a year and a half at least. Like, they really pinned it to him, and he was hitting rooftops. Like,
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
like, man, Csik was everywhere. Csik was the last
of real
true.
bombers.
Well, he hit all the nails on the head. He fucking tagged everything. He bombed rooftops. He was one of the best piecers in the city. He grew up in. He was born in. I can't remember where he was born, but he's traveled all around Europe and all sorts of shit. And he's painted with worldwide crews and part of worldwide crews. Like, they pinned him down really fucking hard when he got pinched.
I remember.
Yeah, no, it took him a couple of years to dig his way out of that, and now he still paints lots, but he's got a family and he keeps it legal, and
Kind of have to after a while.
Oh, absolutely.
You got shit to lose after a certain
Oh
point.
fuck, man, I'm too old and fat to run anymore, right?
Well, and it gets to the point where, like, I don't know, like, when you're young and you're willing to, like, risk going to jail to put your art on a wall, that says something about your commitment to an art form, you know?
Fuck.
And, you know, you don't care about societal standards, you know, and that's where that respect thing comes into play. I really have an issue with the kids that, like, go and they tag mom and pop stores, the front of mom and pop stores. And, like, when we were doing it, we did trains, we did, like, boxes, you know, like city boxes. I did the bridges. You know, every once in a while, I would, like, hang off the side of, like, an apartment building if I could get onto the roof and do, like, the top corners and shit. And that's freaky,
Right.
you know, when you're, like, 7-8 stories up or whatever.
But when you're a kid, it's a big business. It's a fucking 7-Eleven. It's some shit that
A
you
chain
never care
box
about, right?
store, yeah.
I always said, like, no mom and pop shops, no churches, like
Nobody's house.
nobody's fucking back fence, like garage doors. Like, that's just incredibly rude, right? So I mean, I might have scribbled my name when I was too young and dumb, but, like, as soon as you had any sort of head on your shoulders, you fucking leave the private property and the churches and the big shit alone. You put it on the city. Let the fucking city clean it up.
I remember this one time this band Intifada stayed here, and this is the first guy I ever met that was like a real Star Wars nerd. Like, we stayed up super late, and we just watched all these Star Wars VHS, and he's filling me in on all the background on all the characters. I'm like, you're fucking nuts, man. You know all this shit?
Right.
And then he found out that I had a paintball gun. So he goes out in the street and starts paintballing all the fucking cars and stuff that like, this is like, you know, 5 in the morning or something. I'm like, dude, don't fucking do that, because, like, some of those paintballs can actually damage the paint on a vehicle and shit like that.
Or glass. Or
Yeah. So when we ended up going out to Winnipeg with our band and we played the Hardcore Fest, we stayed at this guy's house. And I'm like, well, shit, me and homie have a backpack full of spray paint. We're going to go bomb your neighborhood. He got so bent out of shape. He's like, oh, man, this is where we live. This is my neighborhood. I'm like, well, fuck, dude. I thought you were Joe Hardcore, you know? Like in my neighborhood, you could go fuck it up. But if I go spray paint yours, I'm an asshole? Yeah, whatever, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird 2 different standards, right?
Do as I say, not as I do.
Do as I say, not as I do. So, did you have to deal with any like beefs? Like, you know, it's part of the hip hop scene, but graffiti. Let's talk about. You know, it always seems that somebody does some little thing to piss somebody else off, and then everybody gets their panties in a bunch. And
Yeah, ain't that the truth, eh?
yeah, did you ever have to deal with that? You were kind of always on the top of the heap as far as skill set in Saskatoon and respect.
I appreciate that, thank you. But because of that, I suppose there wasn't really. Like you had mentioned Rove and Theory, and they're about the same. They're the same age as me and Decay, roughly. So we were coming up around about the same time, just through different high schools, and we all skateboarded, so we'd see each other, and we were friends and friendly. But they were doing something. They were doing something different, like you mentioned. They really had focused on the trains, kind of since day two, right? You know,
Well, they were going for like a national or even international reputation.
they just
When you-
approached it from a different angle, and you know, once they started bombing, getting the hand styles down and such, it was they really focused on the iron and respect for the train yards and respect for the lines and knowing like, man, those guys.
Oh yeah, they viewed themselves as defenders of like how things are done in the train yards.
Well, they know how it's done in the train yards because they've spent so much goddamn time in them.
What parts of trains you do paint on, what numbers you don't cover up,
Correct.
where you paint, where
Yep.
you don't paint, you
Yep.
know, that kind of stuff, because you don't want to ruin it for the other guys that are going down there to paint.
Right? So you don't even leave a empty tip on the ground. You clean up your mess. You like. I learned to.
They follow the traditional ways.
Well,
Use every part of the train.
you respect the lines. You don't. You can't expect to go downtown or well, we used to paint downtown, but you can't expect to go downtown and leave a bunch of empty cans and fucking scraps on the ground and expect that it's going to be okay next week.
It's going to be
when you do it
heat-free.
again.
Yeah.
Right? So you leave an invisible footmark, and the tighter ship you run, the less repercussion that's.
The
gonna
longer you're
be.
going to be able to do it. Yeah.
Right? So they've spent their time kind of perfecting that and such, whereas, you know, like...
A guy like my buddy Acrid would roll down there and like shit-faced and not give a fuck. He would
Wow.
cover up anything. Actually, I had a beef with Theory once, because I had a lot of graffiti beefs. Me? So I had a beef.
Ground beef, graffiti beef.
Well, Mike, he would go, like, he gets shit-faced, and we lived down by the train yard, so he would go there and just like destroy shit and, you know, be tagging and stuff. And Theory, basically, this is how beef, like, guys will like little scribble next to a piece, like, hey, this is for you, because guys always go
Toy.
down and check their stuff, and they would cross you out and say that you're a toy, you're something not to be taken serious with, you're seriously, you're something to be played with.
Yep.
So these guys, they crossed out some of Biome's or Acrid's stuff, and they're like, you're a fucking toy, stay out of our yard, if we catch you here, we're gonna have a bat. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna hit my friend with a bat? Okay, cool, buddy. And of course, Mike was, you know, not the biggest dude, but he had like a rage for about 10 human beings. So he found in the train yards a top to bottom train that was sick as hell. And Mike at the same time really idolized Cap, who would cross everybody out. He went and got the army hat to look like Cap, you know, he went out of his way to just be that guy. He destroyed their car. But, you know, some people, you want to tangle with the wrong little guy who doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. What are you going to do? You're going to cover up one of his? He doesn't matter. It took him 30 seconds. Yours took, you know, a day after day after day in this nice little spot. Well, guess what? I found it. You know?
Just vengeance.
And so, yeah, these guys, there was this beef that was going between them, and he was literally my roommate. And so they said that they were going to beat him up with a bat. And then I ran into him at a punk rock show, and I asked him about that. And then I headbutted him, and everything kind of escalated, and a bunch of people pulled us apart. But at the same time, they were really good guys. Like, well, no, I didn't like them, but they were talented artists. You know, Rove, I liked Theory of Attitude, so, you know.
They're both really... They're both really good guys, but rewind a few seconds, you wonder why guns get pulled in train yards when people do stupid shit like that, right? So... not to say you did the same. You did not.
I just put
do-
a crown on my piece
You
when I
did-
spray
yeah,
painted
yeah,
Midtown
yeah.
Plaza.
No, but I mean, and yeah, some people aren't willing. Some
Everybody's
people.
hothead.
Oh, fuck.
Come on, spit out some gossip. Anyway. So yeah. So those guys, they were defenders of the faith in a lot of ways for how to do things. You know what I mean? But you and Decay you both had very specific styles. you kind of had the metally spiky style with your stuff, and you had a very like wide bases on a lot of your stuff. You had those kickoffs that I always really loved.
Yeah.
And Decay always did those like, we started always doing that really 3D dynamic kind of, you know, what would you call that?
You're very streamlined, very artistic, like
Yeah.
very streamlined, three-dimensional.
Three-dimensional,
like,
that's
right?
what I was going with. Yeah, his stuff was like more like shapes that eventually, if you looked at it enough, you could see a name in it. But yours was like, it was traditional graffiti, but it had like some crazy kickoffs and like, you know, like the little spikes and shit like that. I always loved your style. Always. Like, you were one of my
thank you.
favorite graffiti guys in town. And then when you kind of got out of the graffiti world, I got into tattooing, and you kind of got into the airbrushing and
Yep.
the other arts, right?
Yeah, got into more of the automotive aspect of it. And me and Decay came up together around the same timeline type such, but he was definitely always been more of a focused graffiti artist. Whereas
As opposed to a criminal.
well, yeah, I dabbled with a lot more of the tagging, bombing, and hitting stickers and tags on power boxes and mailboxes downtown, and like, I wanted you to see me.
I wanted to be known.
I wanted, you take a piss in a bathroom stall, you see my name carved into the fucking stall or something, right? You see...
The middle urinal in the Kent River Hotel. I totally forgot about that, and the one day months later I was in there and I was like fucking seasick. Yeah,
He's been here.
Yeah.
He's been here.
Gotcha,
Middle of
bitch.
nowhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've always... I've been willing to take, and I have. I got pinched pretty bad one time myself, but...
What, like this?
But no, man. Yeah, I've bombed, I've tagged, I've put in my name in places where it definitely should not have been.
Police cars. No.
Yeah, maybe a sticker or two, but but I paid for it, right? Too. I mean, I got pinched, I got arrested, I got undertakings and charges and federal offenses and all sorts of shit. Like, yeah, you don't want to do what I did. Well.
Sure
You don't want to get busted for it,
You don't want to get caught doing that.
right? But even when I got pinched, it was before there was a lot of newer guys on the map and such. Like graffiti before us wasn't very big in this city. There was only a small, fucking 4 or 5 guys from East College Park that were really doing stuff, and we really looked up to them because we were skateboarding, and a lot of that same crew we went to high school with, and we'd see them breakdancing in the same parking lot that we were skateboarding in, and we see the tags and be like, man, I dig that. Like, you guys got style. You guys are doing something cool.
Well, that was early Saskatoon hip hop.
That was very early Saskatoon hip hop. That was the beginning of Saskatoon hip hop. Before, not us, but the crews before TAU, FTU, Chatty, Crumbs. Like, those guys were the pinnacle of hip hop in this city. Nobody was doing anything before them, and they just happened to be breakdancing at some of the same parking lots we were skateboarding at. And we'd see some of their bombs and tags and such, and man, we're heavily influenced by those guys.
Well, it makes sense. You know, when you come up, you base... I based my whole scene on, like, a generation of punkers that were in, like, Fairhaven, largely. Like, they were right into the bands that I wanted to be into, but I didn't know which were the right ones. You know,
Right,
and
yep.
and I'd see them on the buses on the way downtown. I'm like, who are those guys? They're real punkers, you know, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But you're scared shitless.
You're scared to talk to
them.
them.
You know, you're like, what are you guys about? And you're like, oh, I'm such a fucking loser.
Right?
I'm not worthy. So then you just like should get a mohawk or some fucked up haircut and start slapping paint on your jacket and hope you fit in. Sooner or later they'll talk to me.
Yeah. There's some. When I was in grade 9, I went to a high school different than every other kids from my elementary school went to. And I carried my skateboard around, and I was listening to Face to Face and No Effects and shit in my Walkman. And these 2 goth kids would kind of bug me or poke fun of me carrying my skateboard around. Until one day, one of them was bald, and I think the other one had a fucking mohawk. And the one bald dude kept bugging me one day, and he's like, "Hey, you're bald. Can you do this?" And I was like, "I don't know. Can I?" And he was like,
brain.
"Holy fuck, you can!" It's like, whoa, what does that mean? It's like, cool.
It means we're friends.
So yeah, it
means
means
we're
we're
pals
friends.
now.
So like, yeah,
I've
next
known
time
you
you
long
see him, it's
enough
like,
that you can
here's a
manipulate
mixtape, bro. It's like, no shit. Okay, right? So I'm bumping through mixtape. There's Marilyn Manson and DRI and a bunch of like just random stuff. And it's like, cool, man. I've gotten in with these two old weird fucking guys in the hallway.
Finally, old weirdos think I'm
Finally,
interesting.
right? So
Let me be part of your world, old
yeah,
weirdos.
and then a year or two, keep skating and met a few other guys, and that's how I became friends with Kay and a bunch of like my fucking lifelong dudes that I fucking know just from high school, hip hop, graffiti, skateboarding. Like, man, those are very impressionable years, right? Very formative years where the things you carry from skateboarding, punk rock, hip hop, or whatever, like they transition, they carry with you for the rest of your life,
They're formative.
right?
In real ways.
In
like, your
real fucking
personality.
ways,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think a lot of times for people like that, like those genres of music are their first experience in something outside of the mainstream.
Outside
Right.
of their little cities, at least for me.
Yeah.
The lyrics that I was listening to in the hardcore and the punk rock scene told me how the world was working outside. They told me what the politics were like in the States when I didn't have access to that. And, Dead Kennedys would give me one perspective, and Agnostic
Minor
Front.
Threat.
Minor Threat, yeah. I remember I was 13. I got to, I showed up to high school with like a denim vest with a bunch of patches and a leather. All I wanted for my grade 8 grad was a leather jacket. So my parents finally said, fine, here's your fucking jacket. So I made a denim vest, and I show up with like my Motley Crue kind of homemade patch shit, and these guys are like, here's a mixtape. Legitimately had like Minor Threat, I think had Minor Threat, Dead Kennedys, Misfits, and some other bands. And I'm like, if you had to get a mixtape at 13, that's the one. I thought Dead Kennedys was a comedy band. I didn't think it was a real thing. I'm like, this shit's hilarious.
The way he sings too.
You mean Dead Candies
Who
or
fucking
Dead
sounds
Milkmen?
like
Oh yeah, that's another
Remember,
one. Dead Milkmen.
right? Like Dead Milkmen was fine.
Yeah, they're pretty much a comedy act too.
Yeah,
Punk rock girl
Primus.
the other day.
Primus, yeah.
So yeah, and then all of a sudden, because at that time Saskatoon wasn't big enough for like there's a punk scene and a metal scene and the skater scene. So we, and at least in our high school, there was 1,500 kids, but still we all went to one corner of the school and everybody kind of hung out there. So like you had hair metal guys next to like the punk rock skater guys, and you had the hardcore punk rock guys next to whatever gothy kind of people. So there's a lot of interaction with that. But at least when I was coming up, the people that were into hip hop were a little different. There wasn't a lot of crossover between the hip hop scene. I listened to rap coming up, like Beastie Boys, Ice-T, Fat Boys, the old Wild Style, Beat Street, that kind of stuff. But that wasn't really into the high school scene. Like I got right out of hip hop for a while, and then I got back into it, I think, in my 20s, or maybe, early 20s. But you were pretty consistent through the hip hop. That was primary your thing, eh?
Well, I came up, skateboarding.
See, I came up with skateboarding being associated with punk rock.
Yeah, so
and
did
you
I.
came up with skateboarding associated with hip hop. Because
No,
I
not
remember that
necessarily.
transition.
When I was in, like I said, when I was in grade 9, grade 10, like coming up, it was kind of all punk rock. But as I was in grade 10ish kind of thing and started getting into the graffiti thing, then graffiti is associated with hip hop. And so where do you kind of go? Then you start meeting other people and opening up your mind and checking out different stuff. It's like, no, this is cool, right? But I was still to this day, it's Dead Kennedys and No Effects on the same soundtrack as Ice Cube and West Side Connection or whatever, right? Like my playlist is very fucking wide open and open minded.
Throw in some old country.
But graffiti really got me into the kind of hip hop, because as soon as you start doing that, then you start meeting all these other characters in the game that like graffiti is one of the elements of hip hop. So before whether you like
pillars.
whether the pillars of hip hop, whether you like it or not, you're involved in that scene with whatever kind of music you listen to. If you're writing your name on the wall.
You're
And
now
doing
part
graffiti,
of the hip hop community, whether you like it or not.
whether you like it or not. And there has been a ton of other graffiti writers and artists in the past that are strictly metalheads or punk rock guys, but you're still thrown in that same genre. You really are.
You have to deal with that. And it's weird because I came from a punk rock background. I got into graffiti when I was in Calgary because I met like writers in Calgary in the skate parks and hanging out on the street with the punks and stuff. And then they kind of showed me a couple things. And some of those guys were like straight up like criminals from Vancouver that moved to Calgary to get away from stuff. They're like, yo, I do graffiti, and I'm like, oh, you're sketchy as fuck, you know. But
My graffiti and Breakin entry.
yeah, and like smoke crack, you know. And my roommate's like, this guy's cool. He's staying in our house. I'm like, no, he's not fucking staying in our house. But so yeah, this one guy started to show us some graffiti stuff, and then I came back to Saskatoon, and I was just doing my own thing with flat tips, you know, like
Fan tips.
Fan tips, yeah. I had no clue about Krylon. I had no clue about different caps and where you would get them and how you would get them, and like way before. And Krylon was like the top brand, like, because it dried fast. You could do a line, and then you could do another line right over top, and it wouldn't blend. And
Rusto and Tremclad were pretty damn good too, but
Yeah.
Krylon was a little bit more user friendly.
yeah, I guess, right. And then now, like, fuck, now there's like an entire lines of paint that are designed almost exclusively for graffiti use, for aerosol use.
Tons of fucking lines. More companies than you can imagine that are graffiti exclusive.
And I see so many parallels with tattoo culture, where once upon a time there's like 2-3 brands of ink that you could get, and you had to order the raw powder, and you mixed it up, and like you had the gear, you made your needles, you had to know how your machines ran. Now it's like, what do I want? There's
How many
fucking,
tips? What tips do I want? What needles do I need to order?
There's ads on Facebook for tattoo supplies now.
Fuck.
Yeah, and
You know what? I never thought of that, because I do remember when I first started getting tattooed, like tattoo artists like building their guns in
Yep.
front of me a lot of times. Oh,
Yeah.
I need these needles instead of just grabbing another one or
click,
fucking,
there you go.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There was I remember a few times too where it's like, Pat's, oh shit, I'm out of a shader, and Graham's like, I got some downtime, I'll fucking solder you up one quick.
That was old,
Right?
I can make a needle.
yeah, I got some time. I'll make you. What do you need?
Well,
Right?
when in my apprenticeship for tattooing, we had to know how to put a raw machine together, and we're talking like the electromagnet with
Yep.
like the relay machines, and you need to know how to scrub and sterilize your reusable steel tubes, and then you also had to solder raw needles together into a bundle.
Packing.
Then you take that bundle and you put it on a needle bar, and then you know how to file that down, make it super clean, autoclave that, and then you can do a tattoo if you've got the right tattoo ink to use. And graffiti, I think, once upon a time was the same thing. You needed to know what paints were going to dry quick and what caps you could use. And if you didn't have the cap to use, some guys I know would invent caps.
Yeah.
I remember this guy. He invented a cap, and I'm going to give it away. I don't. It's so.
Oh no, shit! They mass produce them now.
Oh, remember the
Fuck.
one you were showing me? He did a
fine
pinhole
line. Yep.
in a cap. Like, so you take your spray paint cap, but the thing that goes on top, and he puts a little tiny hole through there, and so he sprays, and it's the tiniest little line. Meanwhile, his hand is dripping paint.
Yep. Me and Decay came up with that like 15 at least years ago, and it was kind of a unheard of fucking thing. So there'd be times you'd be painting at a wall with 20 people, and it's like, hey, watch my back, and you do some fine detail shit while nobody's working or
Like all of a
watching.
sudden there's cracks in rock.
All of a
and
sudden
the-
there's
it's an
cracks,
aerosol
it's like-
line this big.
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember
Looks
how
like
you
it
do
was
that, eh?
looks like it was done with an airbrush. Meanwhile, you're dripping paint all over the fucking
Your clothes and
ground,
your
but
shoes.
it's like shit, man.
Well, and that's that purist element, because pure graffiti, you didn't put markers on your paint, you didn't go in with a brush, it all had to be aerosol. And I think in a lot of ways you carry that ethic over to your sign painting, where you're like, well, this is how one shot works. This is how sign painting works. It has to be pure or I'm cheating. And tattooing in a lot of
Right.
ways is the same deal. I came up with a tattoo mentality where I don't use opaque gray. It needs to be black washed out with water. That is
Yeah.
pure tattooing.
Yep.
Because that's where the Cholo black and gray jailhouse style
Transition,
originated.
yep.
It's like you have your rough black ink and you want gray, you water it down.
You spit in it.
No, you get it.
Right?
You get it. Well, spit shading isn't a spit.
Yeah, well,
spit. So yeah, it's called wash, right? You wash it down.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of young guys, and it takes my brain almost a breaking of that mold to say, okay, I'm going to use an opaque gray, which is white mixed with black, to do that gray, as opposed to a washed out black. That's not pure. That's not honest. That's cheating. And I think the same thing with sign painting. If you had to go back and tighten things up, that's not pure. That's no good. This whole piece needs to go in
One
the
try,
garbage.
do or die.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. So it's weird, evolving and realizing you can cheat. You're allowed to cheat.
That's right. But there's
Yeah,
a lot
no
of
one else knows.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of similarities, but coming up, there's a lot of similarities between a lot of the art that we do. There really is, but but you're right. There's only a few purists or a few, you know, that's cheating. I seen you cheating,
Yeah.
right?
Well, who
Where
are you
it's
doing
like-
it for? Are you doing it for the other artists?
See, now it's a lot more acceptable. Like, whatever the overall outcome is means a lot more than the way to get there.
I had a conversation with Vic the other day because he was kind of like, man, I'm not as good as some of these other artists, and I watch them and they critique other people so hard, and I'm really wondering who to listen to and who not to. And I tried to tell him, I'm like, the most important person in the room when you're doing a tattoo is your client.
Yeah.
And if they're happy when they walk out, who cares? And if their tattoo looks good in 5-10 years, who cares what artist sitting at the next booth or artist at the next shop or artist on the internet has to say about your shit? As long as your client is happy, that's who counts. And who cares if you're cheating? Who cares if you go, well, there's a movement right now where using rotaries is considered cheating because it's not old school. I remember when using pre-made needles is cheating because you didn't solder those needles together yourself.
Right.
And now it's, if you do designs using digital like iPads and Procreate, that's cheating. Well, my client is the most important person. I don't care if you're impressed with me down the street. Guess what? I've got business and my clients are happy. So have a nice day.
You're absolutely right, and but you should be your own worst critic. So even though you might have fucking nailed it for the customer and they're super happy with what you did, there's been times where I'm grinding my teeth and you're like, man, I really wish I fucking laid the tape a quarter of an inch over this way or something like.
You are also one of the highest levels of hypercritical of your own work of almost any artist I know.
Well, I don't know if I should say thank you or not, but
It,
I
it-
think
it's almost to a debilitating level where everybody else is like, that stuff is fucking sick, and you're like, I don't know, man. And then you're good. Hey, can I tell you that?
I appreciate that.
No,
you know,
you're good.
I'm good.
You are good.
I'm good at I'm good at a few things, but I'm not great at anything.
Well,
right? Like
Compared to what? Your heroes? You're never going to be as great as your heroes. Compared to the people that want to look at you as a hero.
And to be fair too, you're weighing all the work you've ever done against snippets of theirs. You don't see every failure they had. They know that shit doesn't make the magazines, right? But that's what was in the back of your fucking head. Every time you're working on something, you're always like, "Oh yeah, but I mean, I did this one before, and I can't do that again." And like even looking at like the door jams on your truck blow my fucking mind. You put that much work, like you said, into an area that basically no one's gonna see. You'll very rarely ever see it.
Correct.
And it's like people would peel that off and put it on their motorcycle, and then put it in a fucking show every year and get like in the top 3. You know what I mean? And you're stuffing that inside of a fucking door jam.
It's like, I'm not sure if you've ever laid sideways on one knee to look up inside a vehicle, but I did that.
Yeah.
Like, that's custom up in there.
That's like, when you do see it, you're like, fuck, this guy gets it. Man.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a whole level of appreciation that
details,
most people don't
baby.
have. Yeah.
Details.
But then, at the same time, yeah, when you're hypercritical like that, you know, how long does it take to get through a project like that? Then?
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah.
When everything's got to be fucking
Oh, fuck, I don't wanna
tooth
talk
beds.
about that,
Yeah.
but it's-
that truck of yours has been fucking. If you include
6
while you're
years
driving it, you know, like, is that how long it's been apart? 6 years?
Yeah, it's been 5. Well, we've owned the house for 7 years, so it's been it's been a solid 5-year project. But it's getting there.
Was art
That's
ever
dope.
finished,
It's
or is
really
it just
cool as
abandoned?
Is art ever
Oh.
finished, or just no? It's finished.
You think there's a time when you're actually, this
Yeah.
is where I want it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You
There's-
get there? I
yeah.
never get there. No
Nope.
matter how long I sit on something, it's always abandoned. I'm
Nope.
just,
There's
Really?
No, I
Oh.
definitely hit that mark where I can feel that I spend hours or weeks or whatever on something, and then it's like mic drop. Gotcha, bitch.
I am happy with that.
I'm happy.
Weird.
It's as good as it. Even if you can't change anything, come back. Something. It's art. Sometimes you can't repair.
That's abandoned.
Sometimes. Well, no. I mean, like. Sometimes if I touch up her eyelash a little bit more, then it's gonna fuck up her eyebrow and her forehead, or like no, it's as
That's
good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, I hear that.
So it's.
One of my
am I
issues-
happy with it? Yes.
Yeah, one of my issues is that I hurt people as part of my art. You know what I mean? So if I want to sit there and I want to tweak on your shit, and tweak on
Oh.
your shit, and tweak on your shit, not only is it hurt you,
Yep.
but also there's usually a monetary element involved in that. You know, where I'm like, well, ideally you're going to have to pay me to do
An
that
extra
work,
half
you
an
know,
hour,
or
45 an hour,
5
3.
hours if
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
it my
yeah.
way, you know. And,
Yeah, totally.
But I'm going to hurt you through that whole process, right? So I've got a lot of abandoned paintings, and they're just not done. people are like, that's really cool. I'm like, oh, it's not done. It's just like, it's sitting there waiting for me to do the next 12 hours on
Until
it,
you got the
know?
next ambition to
get-
jump into it and
Yeah, and it's a tough one. Like, you know, even with custom vehicles, when's your vehicle really finished? Because I've seen some pretty pimp things that people are like, yeah, I'm gonna tear it apart and rebuild it. Like, what the fuck? Is this just like, you know, it reminds me of the Tibetan mandalas that they do the sand painting.
Yeah.
They took all that energy and they do all these like little tiny buildings and little tiny animals and they build it all up with different colored sand, and then they say, we created this thing. Woof. Let's do it again,
See, and
right?
I love that kind of shit, honestly. I like stuff that only exists in a brief fucking moment of time, you know? And
Yeah.
instead of trying to keep... Because I find a lot of times it becomes shabby, you know? You keep things and you analyze it and you look at it over and over. It doesn't matter what it is. Eventually you start to see the cracks and the wear and the fucking... The shittiness in it, and you don't get to fucking just be there with that perfect moment. You know what I mean? And I like that. Like, that's why I like music a lot of times, too, because like it just exists.
It's a creation in the
That's it.
moment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
that's really cool.
No,
Yeah,
I totally
like
agree
comedy
with
too, like same thing. Like, I mean, you can tell jokes over and over again, but like that moment when you interact with somebody on something, they laugh, and like that's it, and it's pure.
Yeah.
Fuck, there's nothing better than that.
Well, it's like these conversations that we have. We don't have a script. This is all just free flow.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about that the other day. We come back and we listen to this. Like, we talked about that?
Yeah,
That's
generally,
fucking cool.
generally speaking, I don't remember what we
Right?
talked about.
I don't even
So
remember that
fucking
coming out of my
Just
mouth.
enjoying it.
Well, yeah, try to enjoy the moment, not realize that there's a fucking goofy video camera fucking...
Fuckers are staring at us.
Fucking...
So you've got a ring here that matches a tattoo on your throat. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
Von Dutch, eh?
Yeah, Von Dutch.
Did you make that ring?
Dutch. I did make that
Of
ring.
course you made that fucking ring. Jesus Christ. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I made this one too, actually.
Throws him. Look at this fucking.
Is
thing.
that
Oh,
the
that's a
little
razor.
scary
Yeah,
razor?
yeah.
Yeah.
That thing's
What are these
fucking
out of?
great.
What did you? What
I
did
just
you
made
make
them like hand
The-
that one.
The double finger ring is actually just out of a chunk of a car rim.
Oh, really?
There was a damaged car rim.
Is that
and-
aluminum then? Or?
Yep, correct.
Okay.
They're both out of just chunks of aluminum's very malleable, easy to work with, you know. And I just took a chunk of metal and ground it out till my fingers fit and took away.
I had nothing better to do.
Well, it's
Made
like a
myself some pretty high-end jewelry.
Michelangelo sculpture. The sculpture is already there. You just got to take away everything that isn't it.
And so, you've also done metal work. I know you did my points cover for my Harley there. You did some metal etching on that with that
Oh,
Bastards
yes.
one. I gave it to
Yeah,
Putrid.
Landon.
Yeah. I'm actually making him a belt right now, a custom Bastards belt that you're going to have to do one shot on. But,
Oh, cool.
yeah, we discussed it. He probably didn't tell you, but you're going to do it.
Fine.
But, so explain to people that don't know who Von Dutch was.
Oh, Von Dutch as
He wasn't a brand name? He wasn't just a logo that was popular?
fuck anybody that actually still remembers him as a brand name is like put your Affliction T-shirts away because
like Don Ed Hardy, right? You know, that's
right
a brand
because
name.
when Von Dutch passed away, I think it was his two twin daughters that sold his name to some asshole to print it on T-shirts, and his original fucking logo and design was like, man, he's considered the father of original pinstriping, and I know a lot of pinstripers that, and myself included, that aren't necessarily a big fan of his style. I don't find myself biting or being super influenced by a lot of his designs whatsoever. But the fact that he was such a fucking oddball, and the fact that he was such a
Antisocial lunatic?
antisocial lunatic, that I've got such a ton of respect for him, because
I have
like
a
I said,
sticker at the shop that says Von Dutch hates you.
I've got the same one, brother. I got the same one on my toolbox, and it makes me smile every time. Like, he was such an eccentric. That's the word that I'm looking for, and that's why I appreciate him so much. He wasn't just a painter or a pinstriper or a builder. He fabricated his own guns and knives.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was a gunsmith too. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
He was a true gunsmith. He
Wasn't there a story about some outlaw biker HA guy brought him a bike to do
a
some work?
bicycle, and he was supposed to paint or pinstripe the bicycle or motorcycle frame, and he cut it into 100 or 200 exactly even spaced pieces and gave it back to him on shoestrings and saying, "I'm not going to paint this bike because it's possessed." And it's like, what the fuck? And there was a hit out on him for years, and I think that's when he pulled the plug and he
Got really into gun making.
no, and he hit out on the desert for like 8 or 9 years after that, I think. But and he lived in a bus and the bus was like a complete working machine shop where
Yeah,
he
I
built
remember
his
the
guns
Von
and
Dutch
such,
bus,
right?
reading about that,
That
yeah.
bus was refurbished years ago, and I think sold at an auction like fucking last 10 years. But he was such an eccentric, and he'd show up at. I've got lots of books on him, man. I really appreciate how fucking weird he was. Because he'd show up in the morning, and there'd be a lineup of 12 fucking cars, all cars like hot rods, willing to get Dutched, and he'd show up, and he wouldn't even fucking look anybody in the eye. He'd walk into the shop, open the shop, piss around with something for a couple hours, fucking walk out, lock the shop, and leave everybody standing there and fuck off.
Yeah, that's a certain type of artist. Reg, the guy who apprenticed me,
That
reminds me of that a little.
right?
You know,
I could.
you care about people a lot, but I could see you being that guy. You know, if you wanted to be.
Oh, I can never be that guy. I think that's so disrespectful and so fucking rude. But the fact that somebody's willing, like,
I think some
fuck,
artists just have their own stuff they need to deal with, and they're creative individuals, and they need to do their thing, and all these other people wanting a piece of them
Right.
really emotionally fucks with them. Like, you know, just let me be myself. And they're like, hey man, I need something for you, and they're like, fucking leave me alone. I need to do me. I need to do self-care. But they never learn how to do self-care. So they're like, fuck you, I'm gonna go shit-faced.
Well, I think a lot of times artists like that, like they never had that development because they spent time building their craft. Like I know lots of people that are really great at playing guitar because they spent lots of time by themselves in basements playing guitar.
But you
Doesn't
get them
mean
to
they're
try and
fucking
deal
good
with
at anything
people.
else. Yeah.
No, that's right. No, totally right. And there's
Von Dutch, the bus got sold.
yeah. No, but it took me almost 10 years to learn the word no.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So when I first came up airbrushing and when I first came up in the trade, and I was painting a lot of bikes for a local bike shop here, and helping repair and just paint black fucking Harley tanks all day long. It was a really good experience to get some good painting skills under my belt. But there'd be customers like, oh, I want an eagle, and I want a fucking beaver riding a Canadian flag or something. It's like, well, I don't like it, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
Right? So
That was
it's-
like me tattooing apprenticing. Anything coming in the door. That's what I do.
Same thing with airbrushing. I was like, okay, I'll do it. Fuck, I don't want to do it. And then I'm losing sleep and I'm not having fun. And once I learned the word no, now it's too easy to say. Now all I want to do is what makes me happy and what I want to do a good job at, because I like that idea. I'm gonna have fun with it. Fuck yeah, bring it over.
That's where I am with tattooing.
Right?
Yeah, it's a nice place to
but
be.
For the most part now, it's like, well, can you do this or help me out? No.
Well, if
Are you
you
interested? No.
and if you were put in a position where your striping or your airbrushing or your custom work was your job, you have to be the okay, yes,
Absolutely.
thank
Gotta
you for
keep
the
those
work.
fucking doors open.
And it killed me as an artist being forced to do stuff I was subpar at because I needed to pay the bills, while the stuff I excelled at, had to get put on the back burner because I had to take anything coming in the door.
You gotta fucking tattoo those eagles and that fucking
whatever it was.
Whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Portraits are ones that kill me. I don't do dynamic stuff. I don't do portraits. I don't do figure drawing. But people would say, I want an angel fighting a demon sleeve. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, here's shit I don't
fucking
draw.
Again.
As a
shit I don't draw.
Yeah, you know, like you want a Japanese dragon, I could probably do a pretty hot job, but you know, you want that angel versus a demon. Okay, here we go again, and I'd be laboring through that whole process, saying, yeah, and so now I'm in a place where the shop has enough guys that are doing that bread and butter tattooing where I can be that guy. I can say, no, I'm not taking that project on, and I can put my time and energy into the shit I love.
That you want to do,
I
right?
like working again. I love tattooing again.
It's you gotta have that. You gotta find that rail to ride.
What was the last stuff we tattooed on you? We did some torso stuff, didn't we?
Oh
Some
fuck!
filler?
You hit my belly.
Yeah, we did the skull,
That
that
was
rocker,
horrible.
you know.
We did the skull and the rockers at the fucking event.
The tattoo convention.
Correct.
Ink Alley, yeah.
Yeah, in front of everybody.
That's nice. It's always nice to be half naked in front of a bunch of strangers.
Well,
Vulnerable, half naked, you know,
Right.
in pain. Those are good.
Everybody
times.
judging you.
and then it was a couple months after that actually that I got the 306 on my belly, and a little bit of shadows thrown around from Chris, and that was a few months before he passed away.
So you thinking that you're going to go towards a bodysuit, full bodysuit eventually, or?
Kind of getting there already. Well,
It's just
I mean,
working
no,
out.
it's all the fucking spots you don't see, the inner thighs,
The most painful spots are the last
the
ones. eh?
most painful spots are the last ones.
When
right?
you're an
So, I
old
mean,
old wuss, that's me.
right? Oh, me too. The more you get, the more they hurt, man.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
Kind
No.
of life.
No, I still like maybe that sign. I'd sure like it. Maybe throw some just fucking.
Anytime.
Dude.
You know, brothers from other mothers.
Wow.
You know, it's well, you know, and that's the thing. The older,
Drop trow now. Let's get after it. You want those inner thigh tattoos?
Don't send me with a good time.
I like to say when I was young and furious at the world, I would grit my teeth through anything. Fuck, come on, let's fucking do it. More tattooing, more tattooing, more tattooing.
Yeah.
And now that I'm kind of like committed to a bodysuit, but I'm not as furious at the world, they hurt more. You know what I mean? And
No, I
could-
do know.
I can finish this later.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
An hour and a
enough.
half sitting is plenty. No more 9-hour sittings, you
Oh,
know.
God.
I feel like that with riding motorcycles. I haven't
Right?
ridden much lately.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah,
shit's
yeah,
apart.
yeah.
You want to do
But
a
it's like-
7-hour hardtail run?
That's the thing, right? Like, nah, I can. Yeah, let's go do it. But it's like, am I gonna go to my way to do that, or like, hey, it's raining sideways and we gotta go? Do we though?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can't wait 3 hours or till fucking tomorrow. Like,
I'd really like a bagger with a huge stereo and like heated seats.
that's the dream, baby.
My daughter went for a
Garbage
ride with
barge.
my dad, and she's like, "Grandpa's motorcycle? It's like a lazy boy. It's like a comfortable seat on the
got a
back."
stereo and
Yeah,
fucking
but she
heated
said it
seats.
positively. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, it's like a lazy boy. We're like, no, it's like a fucking lazy boy.
Yeah, and I'm like, Daddy's not going to have that. I don't think ever. Well, who knows?
Like-
I think those things are too big for me to ride comfortably, right? They're like, I need a small bike because I'm a short dude. You know, I need to be able to control that bike and handle that bike. I don't think those big baggers I could do.
And people don't realize, like, I mean, they're well balanced once you're going, but just trying to move one around parking and shit, and they go
Yeah.
over on you.
Fuck.
I legit saw an elderly gentleman on a bike ride I was on with like the biggest bagger you ever seen. And he goes to turn around in the grass, and puts his foot up, breaks his fucking leg.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, because there's lots of bike
Lots
there.
of
To,
fucking weight there, man.
What's
Well,
the deal with biker dads, man? They all look the same. They have the same paunch, the same white goatee, a little bit of a mullet. Fuck, you know how many times I see guys riding? I'm like, that's my dad. Nope, that's not my dad. That's another biker dad going by.
no, not us. Our dads are dead, but that's fine. Our dads are dead, but we understand what that's like, asshole.
You see what you did there? Yeah. I don't know if he told you or not, but my dad's dead.
I'm sorry, that's totally not funny.
It kind of is. He kind of is right where he deserves to be.
That's why I said it. That was the point, wasn't it?
You know what's funny? For when we were coming up with names for this, I just about pitched daddy issues, you know, because
Yeah, but you ever be turning in expecting like two chicks talking about being spanked though? Like, Dad, it's us
I'm not
talking-
against that
us
either,
talking
actually.
about being spanked, I guess.
we've got a guest coming up that might be into that stuff. You know, she does a polyamory BDSM. Oh, do you want to give it a quick pause?
Well, you guys want to pause, or you guys want to fucking keep talking amongst yourselves?
Oh, we
I
can
like
quit.
talking to you, honestly.
Yeah,
I've
okay.
got nothing to say to this guy.
Yeah, exactly. We already know each other.
Really? Is that cool?
Yeah, let's just pause for a sec. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and we're back. All right. What were we talking about right before? We were talking about
Round two.
What? Yeah. We were talking about Von Dutch a little bit, and
Oh,
then
we're talking about Von Dutch.
daddy issues. Yeah. You know, and it's weird because we were all part of a customs club for. Well, I'm not part of it right now.
Oh, you said right now.
Yeah, I'm not part of it right now. I took a little
At this
hiatus,
moment.
but it was called the Bastards. And you know, originally I founded it with a bunch of buddies. You were there right at the beginning, like there were some OGs, and it was from the Motorhead album Bastards, right? But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, almost every guy that's getting involved with this is like a fatherless son in some way. You know, we're all like these
Yeah.
dudes that found family that just like had this lack of a male role model, at least with me. You know, like
it wasn't a positive one. anyways,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
There was one there. It wasn't the most positive.
Boy, I don't know if I can remember naming everybody that sat around that original table, but there's at least 10.
And then okay, well, I guess that's your club stuff. So we don't need to talk about your club stuff. But I know there's some confusion. We might as well put it on the table between what a customs club is and what a car club is versus a motorcycle club. You guys want to clear up the difference between what Bastards are?
Yeah, sure, because
Yeah.
the Bastards were never classified as a customs club.
What would you consider it?
Well, what was it started as? It was started as a custom culture social group.
Yeah.
really,
Okay.
right? So in that,
That'd be the best artist collective.
Yeah,
Would be the best description of it.
Right.
And guys who like motorcycles,
we
but
were
like
never-
vans and mini trucks and
Yep.
Painting
mini
and
bikes
music and
fucking skateboards.
we've
And
never called ourselves a customs
Yeah.
club. We've never been a car club, but we've made a lot of years ago. We made sure to differentiate ourselves so that we are not a motorcycle club. But a lot of those things, it's easy to get tied into because you got a patch on your back, and that's how you look. That's how
Some
you
logos,
operate, right? You got
tattooed
some
dudes.
logos, right? You're hitting all the check marks.
I think those qualify as like your 3-piece patch clubs. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
no, and
that's
right
not
from-
us. We don't
that's
have
an
3
MC.
pieces, you know
Right
what I
from
mean?
day
Like,
one, it was a single patch,
You don't see a lot of those guys doing like pedal bike pub crawls.
right?
You know what I mean?
We're building
that's our scene. You know
vans
what I
or
mean? The new
international
one of,
trucks
Mini
or
bike soccer. is,
51s.
we're pretty
Mini
into
bike
mini bike
soccer.
soccer lately.
Mini bike soccer.
Mini bikes, period.
Like, yeah.
or putting on like punk rock shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Savage
Well,
Henry and
see, coming up from the club right from day one, there was just as many artists or bike riders as there were musicians and people that played in bands.
or gearheads.
Right. Well, there
That was
was
one of
actually
my-
there was more artists and musicians
Yeah.
than there were gearheads at day one.
That's one thing. That's one thing I felt a divergence with, which is part of the reason I took my hiatus or left the club, is because I was an artist. I'm not a gearhead, and that element kind of took the back seat to the gearhead and the building and all of that. But there were some guys like
It's going to be
C6
more of a balance now, I guess. 'Cause I
I'd
do
like
feel like
to
for
see
a
that.
long time that it was like we were all really like, well, not me, but I mean,
A lot of guys.
most everybody in the club was really good at making stuff look really good. Not necessarily going to make it all the way
Performing?
around the city without shit falling off and breaking down or like blowing up. You know what I mean? Like we worked on it, but like now, we've got guys in the club that are really fucking good at building motors, and you want your carburetor
Wrenching.
rebuilt, like fucking get a hold of Carlos. That guy knows his fucking way around a carburetor. You know what I mean? Like that's a real element now to it, which is kind of a balance, I think, because I think we didn't have that much. We were still into the mechanical aspect of shit, but I mean, for myself, a lot of times it was just getting it going. You know, and fucking this guy built some of the nicest bikes I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
But-
you're an
but
award-winning
it's
motorcycle builder,
yours
too.
were more like rolling art to me a lot of
You're
times
good.
because you would work with a
Thanks.
platform that was so weird that a lot of people wouldn't even build a bike out of it. You know, like your pink bike with the conged frame, like nobody does that shit anymore. And that you're even doing it and then made it this rolling art. It's so fucking cool, you know?
Well, we got slack on that at Cyclemania. You know, maybe not a lot of slack, but there'd still be a lot of a bunch of Jap bikes.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but we did it ourselves
Yeah.
with the fucking Princess Auto tools that we got.
XS650s
God,
and
We didn't
Damn
need
it.
to go
Kawasaki
get
fucking-
a bank like mortgage. We didn't have to remortgage our house to make a
none
custom
of
bike
us
that
could.
kicks ass. You know, I guess, right?
It
You
wasn't
know?
an
right?
option, really.
Well, and
No.
that's the thing. You put these homemade, custom, like, well, whatever it was, whether it was like a van or a truck or the 51. What's Mitch's 51?
Chevy four-door.
Chevy four-door, or Japanese choppers. And the labor of love is put into that, and you can tell the difference between a guy who just took it to airbrush guy, got him to do it, took it to motor guy, got him to do it, took it to, fine-tune guy, got these extra parts slapped on, and I got a custom bike, versus the labor of love of a group of individuals that really put that time and energy into something that they really care about. And like, this guy's working on this and this guy's working on this, and we're all in this group together where we're collectively building really cool shit.
where it's really
dude.
DIY,
Yep.
right? Do
Yep.
it your fucking self,
Yep.
and if you get stuck, I got a few phone calls I can make, right? Mm-hmm. But that very first bike, when we got the club first rocking and rolling, it was built in my parents' uninsulated garage. And I put on a denim fucking parka, and bring out a 6-pack of beer and work until my fingers got so goddamn frozen that I couldn't do anything more. And whatever parts I could shitty tack weld and bring them to work and final weld in the heat. And like it's not what you got, it's what you can do with it, right? So
That's
we're-
customs culture.
That's
without
custom
money.
culture, right? We're
Old
trying to do
school
what
hot
we
rod.
got with
You
what we
couldn't
got.
buy a race car. You had to take your existing car and pull as much shit off as you could and make it go
Yeah,
fast.
those
Right.
hot
Well,
rods.
That's
yeah.
that's where all that shit came from, right? All those fucking dudes came back from World War II all bored and
PTSD'd out the yin yang.
right?
Who
So
do I hang out with?
start a fucking start some bike clubs and build some cool shit.
Well, you know, and okay, so it's funny. There's a lowrider thing. This is all lowrider flash from like East LA. You know, what is it? Southeast Los Angeles design, black and gray cholo style. And I think a lot of custom culture, especially like pinstriping and stuff like that, that came from those vehicles where like there's a deep rooted vehicle custom culture in that Southeast Los Angeles area. Like, so. I've heard
California as a whole, I suppose, right?
So SoCal, like Speed Shop and all of that's hot roddy and all of that stuff. But you would know better than me. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that the heavy pinstriping and the murals was to literally cover up the flaws in paint when guys couldn't afford to get a full body job or a full new paint job. They're like, I'm going to do some swirls here, and I'm going to cover this up, and I'm going to do this little thing in this corner, in this corner, in this corner.
Some of that was a drive from that. There's a Mercedes, some sort of goofy little Mercedes car that had really terrible grinder marks all over the side of it, and it was painted white, and then they brought it to Von Dutch to do something with. And that's where he came up with these weird, crazy, not crab claw, but real fucking far out flames that covered the entire.
The hot rod flames. That's a Von Dutch thing, right? The looping kind
Well,
of.
there's a bunch of different kind of styles of flames, but the one on that Mercedes, he said it himself. He felt like he was going to be crucified for. Oh shit! What the fuck did he say? He thought that he was going to be crucified for destroying something so beautiful because it was such a nice car, but it had such shitty bodywork and grinder marks from somebody else that his flames actually accentuated and flowed with the grinder marks in hopes to camouflage and flow it in together.
Because it was a circular grinder mark, so he
Correct.
did the circular flame mark or circular flame lines to kind of follow that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, you know, there's a car club, or there's the chopper club, custom chopper club in Southern California, the Sinners, you know, and I think the Bastards were kind of based, but there's also the Beatniks car club, which are like high-end custom stuff, and I think in Saskatoon, for what it's worth, that kind of culture got brought up north. It's debatable whether or not like hardtail choppers are the most like Saskatchewan friendly vehicle, you know.
Not the easiest way to travel.
Maybe like lifted trucks and snowmobiles.
Fun,
Custom.
though.
That
Oh,
seems
totally.
to be Saskatchewan.
Yeah, that's
culture.
something we talked about a while back. Was we
Yeah.
should get weird snowmobiles.
Yeah, can you imagine Mad Maxing snowmobiles?
Yeah,
Oh my
right.
god.
It's not bad.
The older, jankier, the better.
Not too far fetched of
So
an idea,
janky.
At least you could use them 6 months out of the year.
right?
So if have you ever done gold flake?
I have not. I've never messed with leaf.
Yeah.
Silver leaf, gold leaf. No, because it's taking on something. No, because it's. Do you want to take up tattooing or airbrushing or pinstriping?
it's its own discipline.
It's its own discipline. Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, even just lettering from pinstriping is totally different. Just because you use the same paint doesn't mean it's the same but different.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So, and Decay took that up quite a number of years ago, and he's really gotten incredible at it. So, I don't dabble with it. I don't. Why? If I need it done or something, then I'll be like, Decay, can you help me out?
Yeah.
Right?
I know a guy, yeah.
Like,
At this
yeah,
point,
no,
eh?
but- and actually,
yeah, do I want to spend 20 years getting good at this, or do I want to use the guy who's already...
Decay had an airbrush before I did, actually, and I don't know where I got mine from, but he had an airbrush before I did and was frustrated with it, and I thought, well, maybe I'm stupid enough that I'll stick it out.
Yeah. It worked for you.
It worked for me just because I'm dumb and
Wow.
like
I don't know, man.
patient enough that I kept sticking with it. I
Well, it's
suppose.
weird because I remember I had an airbrush that I had no use for, and I gave it to you. And then somebody gave you a tattoo machine, and you're like, I have no
Yeah.
use for this. I'm not inking people. You take the machine. So
And it was your machine. You remember that?
Which of it?
I remember that story. There's a gentleman that dropped off a box of ink, a machine, and like everything.
You're an artist. Do this.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was, you're an artist. Do this, and I pissed around with it for a bit, and I think I tattooed a grapefruit or two. Hey, mom, fucking, still the grapefruit. And yeah, I plugged it in and I tried it, and I was careful because it's got needles. You don't poke yourself. But I remember contacting you, and you're like, "Holy shit, man! This is my old liner. This is one of my old machines."
Oh no, actually, I think what the story was is I know the old guy who got in some problems with like drugs and alcohol and like really started owing some people money, and I think some people confiscated his gear, and he was a mentor of mine. He would come by, and he's like used to be in tattoo magazines in the 80s, and he was just like he was going on some hard times. He was a little janky, his jaw was always a little rubbery, you know.
Oh, shit.
And when you brought me that, I'm like, I know whose machine this is. This is
Okay.
like, yeah, I guess I can say, I'm not sure, I think he might have passed away. His name was John Smith, and he was like old school, like well-known Saskatchewan tattooer. And, you know, I think whoever you got those machines from, he might have owed them some money, you know.
Yeah. Well, I remember, but the that being all dropped off. I'm sorry, but
don't worry.
that being dropped off, it was almost expected. Like, okay, here you go.
Now tattoo me.
When do you start?
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah. Then I remember when it came down to it, it was like, well, this turns out this isn't my machine. Turns out this is somebody else's machine.
Yeah. Well,
And
you know,
talking to you, I remember you're like, well, the power supply is kind of garbage, and you can't trust any of the ink, and you can't trust anything. Like, so,
this machine's nice though.
yeah, well, it's salvageable or
Yeah,
has
yeah.
history.
It
but,
has history, definitely.
right? But yeah, you're not going to be using the ink on anybody
We don't want to, you know.
or needles. Wow,
Who knows how many of those needles were used, right? I got a whole bunch of used needles. Want me to use them on you?
Yeah, use every single one of those used needles on me, please.
What was it? Well, it's an interesting story. The guy that apprenticed me to tattoo actually was kind of initiated into tattooing in jail. He went to jail, and he's in these big native guys come into his cell with a machine. They say, "You're a good artist. You're going to tattoo us with this machine, or we break your or no, you mess up, we break your hands." And he's like, "So that was me learning to tattoo. You know, I had to learn on the fly." And when he got out, he went out to BC. He learned under some pros, but like that's when that stuff was kind of like an outlaw culture thing. And I imagine whoever dropped that machine off with you was kind of got that implicit expectations, like, "Oh yeah, so when you get good, you're going to tattoo me for that." You know, like there's a weird underworld element to that stuff. When, you know, hey buddy, I'll do you a favor.
The man that dropped that equipment off spent 5 years in jail, a few years after the fact, but
Yeah, lifestyle choices.
right.
So let's see. Tell us about okay. So you and Decay were both aerosol artists, right? And you decided to start a mural company called Contrast Studios, and then you evolved into Kustom Kulture kind of collaboration, like on vehicles.
Yeah, absolutely. When we first started Contrast, I think we. I can't remember what came first, the murals or the shirts, because we did quite a few screen prints of T-shirts, bunny hugs, wife beaters, girls' clothing, all sorts of shit. We actually had a catalog of toques and embroidery and silk screening that we hustled for quite a while at the end of high school or shortly after.
And so it was that long ago. It was like high school, like, you know,
Yeah, high
late
school.
teens or early 20s.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, we were,
Is that
getting
20
stuff
years
made.
ago?
Oh, pretty close. Yeah, I was supposed to graduate in 2000, I think. I liked it a lot, so I stuck around for an extra year or two.
It's like the scene.
Right?
So
But yeah, sorry. From that, yeah, we did like a lot of. We talk about hitting the streets and trains and such. Well, a lot of those same formative years when I was painting trains and such. The next weekend, we were getting paid money from a local business to paint their name on the side of the building. So I mean, there's.
and so it became a job, like an entrepreneurial kind of hustle.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got tons of pictures where we've done lots of buildings and high-end shit in Five Corners, and one of the longest running murals, graffiti murals in the city, is still running in the University of Saskatchewan tunnels.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
That was about 15 years ago, and somebody sent Decay a picture a few weeks ago, and he texted me. He's like, "Hey, guess what? It's still up. It's still running. Nobody's painted over it. Nobody's touched it."
yeah.
And we got paid good money from the university, and there was actually a petition to get that painted over, or a bunch of artists.
Probably fine art students.
Oh,
or something
fine
wanna
art
do
students
their
that
stuff.
were really butthurt that they outsourced that mural when they
Yeah.
could have kept it in house.
Well, you know, they pay good money for their tuition.
Well, their tuition paid our paint bill, right? So they were Yeah, there was some hard feelings over that one, but it's 15 years old and it's still running. So
Well, I remember there was Rove and Theory were kind of getting into the whole, doing commercial murals for a little while, and the guy that ran a big record store downtown called Tramps commissioned them to do the alley of the side of their building. But then the city rolled in and said this is an illegal art form and we want it painted over and you guys shouldn't have it up. Yeah, and these guys have a record, so they shouldn't be able to do this. They've been arrested for graffiti before.
Yeah.
And they went to the business owners and they tried to make them take the mural that these guys did down or paint over it because they considered it prohibited art. And that blew my mind. I'm like,
Prohibited art.
right, these kids, when they were young, they learned to do this illegally. Cool, they ended up getting busted and they got a record. But then they tried to turn it around and turn it into an occupation. Hey, we do commercial murals. And then the city's like, no, we don't support that because it's supporting like, illegal art forms.
underground art forms.
So what happens when the property owner actually says, I appreciate this art, do you want to do it here? Because you guys did there's a very prominent sound wall on Warman Road.
Yeah, years and years before that on Preston Avenue, just down the street from Walter Murray Collegiate, was old friend Barrett's mother's house. And that was the first fucking wall. That was the first fence. That was a 60-foot long fence that a few of us painted. All old Saskatoon OGs that, fuck, there's petitions to get that painted over. And she's like, nope, it's my property, it's my fence, I'll paint it
100%.
out. And she stood her ground and...
That blows my mind that they would try to do that. So these kids try and turn their hustle, or try and turn like what they kind of got in trouble for once upon a time into a legitimate job, and the city's like, no, we don't like that. So we're like, there's a few legal walls in town. Like the most prominent that most people in town would know would be the sound wall that was a privately built sound wall because the city wouldn't do it.
See, but you said, permission wall? It was not a permission wall. It was a contracted wall, I suppose.
Yeah, okay. So
but
they
the first
hired you guys?
legal wall, yeah, that was kind of a hired gig, so to speak. But the first legal wall in the city was the White Buffalo Youth Lodge.
Oh yeah, and that's like for like urban youth, right?
Yeah. They do really good things, and they got a really good programs in basketball court and such inside. And once a year for the last 10 years, we've been Nick and Rove and Theory of Rove has organized the Summer Fling big graffiti festival there, where there's scaffolding and breakdance classes inside,
And all these kids that are like, disadvantaged can come and watch graffiti being done like nicely as opposed to just garbage tags.
and take a breakdance course if they're so inclined, and hang out for the day. And
That's cool, and I think that stuff needs to happen because it builds community. It's not necessarily mainstream community.
no, but it has happened for the last, it's been at least 10 years.
So, Dusty had mentioned that his mom is actually into graffiti. And I remember being a kid into graffiti, and I had no clue what it was. And we went to Seattle on a road trip. My parents, we camped the whole way there and camped the whole way back. And I remember trying to take as many pictures as I could of what I considered real graffiti. And that was like, wow, this is what it's supposed to look like. And then in '96, I went out to, what was it called? Vancouver. And there was a few really big walls in Vancouver. And there were some guys doing pieces right there. I'm like, can I take pictures of you? I'm here to learn how to do apprentice piercing and stuff. They're like, just don't get our faces in it. So I came back with some Vancouver tattoo or graffiti pics. Now, you say your mom collects that stuff?
Well, yeah, she said a little while ago she started getting into taking pictures of rail cards. Fucking Steve keeps buzzing around me. Of train cars.
Trains.
And yeah, like she said, she doesn't necessarily understand all the symbolism and everything inside of it, but just appreciates the art. And, yeah.
Well, right, you got to understand that somebody's willing to walk out to the middle of nowhere with a bunch of cans in their fucking backpack and write their name on something that doing so, putting your name on a train car, that train car will take my art places that I will never see. You know what I mean? So, a long time ago, you used to be able to track the numbers and actually go on the computer and see where those
Where your
those
art was
trains,
traveling.
yeah, right? So you see, you're like, that train that I painted, that's in Chicago or San Francisco or somewhere fucking really far away, right? After 9/11, that shit all fucking got squashed. They ain't no more of that.
Oh, they don't allow you to track where anybody
Oh, you
goes.
couldn't track nothing. But you could actually, before, like, when I was a kid in my parents' basement, you could fucking type in the train number and be like, wow, man, that fucking train is like, you know how many graffiti writers in Chicago? And how many
that go to the yards and watch that stuff.
Wow,
go by.
man.
You know what's interesting? Because I've had some debates about this, but like in New York City, you know, where the real graffiti community started in the early 80s, late 70s, these kids were largely kept in their neighborhoods, whether it was the Bronx or, you know, Staten Island.
Secluded
And they had no money, but they would go into the train yards, which was the subways, and they would paint the trains, and then their art would travel around the city, and depending on what lines they would go to. And like the goal for those kids playing that game back in the day was to become all city, where your design was recognized all around the city. You know, some guy, you go out to Brooklyn or the Bronx or wherever, different areas of New York, you've seen my name, you know who I am, you bring your black book, this is me, this is my art, let's see your black book, you know, you go to the writer's bench and you would meet up where all these other graffiti guys were. Now, I think the evolution in small towns was like, I can go all country. I could go international.
But that's a train thing though. But even still going all city, depending on your outlook, if you're a bomber or a tagger, a bomber or a writer, depends what you want to do with your art and what projection you want to shoot it at. But it was very important earlier in my bombing and tagging kind of career that me and Came and a few guys would drive across town and fucking walk around and hit mailboxes and hit power boxes and fucking throw your name up. So you are all city, right?
So people all around the city know your name.
Correct.
And who are the ones that really catch this? This is an important element about graffiti. Who are the people that know who the graffiti guys are?
Who are the ones
Street
who care
people.
or pay
The
attention?
people that notice, street people that are walking on the street, walk by that alley and they see that name over and over again. They walk by the mailboxes and see that name all over and over again. The people in their cars driving from work to home, that's just invisible.
It ain't for them. Yeah.
But you know, if you go down on a street level and there's some guy who's been on the streets, you're like, hey man, that's me. That guy right there. He's like, I see that everywhere. That's
Yep,
you.
I see that everywhere.
And that's the kind of the goal. And it's something that I did when I didn't drive, when I was walking from point A to point B or riding my bike from point A to point B, but usually walking with a backpack with like big markers in my pockets or a backpack with a few cans. And I wasn't driving. I was hiking from this place to that place, so you're in the ground.
Or skateboarding or on a bike or something,
yeah,
right? You're
skateboarding's a
moving,
big
you're
one.
on, you're like,
But you're not in a car, you know.
nope, footprints, right? You're making footprints and you're cruising. You go out of your way to fucking hit shit. You go out of your way to you already got that marker in your pocket, man. And I'm already making footprints on the street. I got to put my name here.
In
right?
every bathroom you go to, every pole you
Shit,
walk by,
man.
every box that you stop at, every
That's what-
lights thing, you're like
Right.
bang, 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 bang,
It
bang,
might
bang,
it
bang,
might
bang,
not be about the nice art. You might not see me most of the time, but as long as you fucking see my name and remember my name, whether it's a toilet stall or a fucking power box or a dumpster in an alley, you fucking see my name.
It's funny, most citizens will relate it to when you walk your dog and they piss on anything they can. It's like, this is mine, I've been here, this is mine, I've been here. And I wonder if dog worlds, if they're walking around, it's like, that guy's everywhere.
That's
I know you, that's your ass.
Yeah. Shit, man.
I know that ass smell.
Pissing everywhere.
You're all city.
Yeah, right? That's
Drenched
what it
this whole
is.
borough.
Pissing on everything.
See, it's just like, this is me. You know me, because I'm everywhere. But unfortunately, property owners don't like that. The cops don't like that. And it's also, cops don't like it because it's saying, I'm important in this, like, bland, sterile environment.
Well,
I'm
it has been
projected.
used also by criminal elements to claim
Mark
territory
territory.
too. So
But there's that other side where cops say that it's all gangsters.
yeah, well, of course not. Yeah.
Okay, and this has
Yeah,
been
that's
brought up in the
more
past,
areas.
and we've addressed this as a writers' union, so to speak. It's been probably 10 years ago. There was a graffiti task force with a fucking constable dedicated to address the graffiti situation in Saskatoon.
And he had files on every writer.
Correct, and he came from Ontario or Ottawa or some whatever. He sucked out there and he fucking sucked here, but he couldn't do shit here, and it came down to a community meeting with anybody willing to be involved to have a sit down of how we can talk about the graffiti problem in the city. Now there.
And
was,
what do you write? What's your name?
Yeah,
And this guy's sitting
Well,
there with
guess
his little
what?
book.
Guess who fucking showed up, right? Rove Theory, me and Decay, and I think we were the only actual writers that showed up and addressed
Rove
the
Theory,
situation.
you and Decay?
Yep.
That's funny because it's like the top echelon, in my opinion, of graffiti in
Right?
town. Well,
And
Danny, I would
you're-
put up in there too, right? You know?
Yeah, this was quite some time ago in a basement and off 20th Street, community hall type thing. And he's like, "Well, what can we do?" And can't quite remember exactly how it all unfolded, but I remember Decay telling him, "Well, he's like, you to paint us with paint everybody with the same brush. That everybody that tags and bombs or does street art is all the same fucking asshole." And Decay mentioned something along the lines of like, "Well, that's me claiming that every cop across the board is a donut-eating pig kind of thing, right?" And so,
They're racist murderers.
wait a second, like, you can't group us all into the same group. That's not fair. It's like, it doesn't sound fair, does it?
Yeah. it
So
is.
we're out here, and at that
You guys
time,
were all artists, though.
at that time, we're getting paid big money to do some fucking jobs. You walk down the street and you see a big fucking building, like a store logo painted on the side of their wall. We did that.
Yeah, there
It doesn't
wasn't
matter if we
anybody
did it
else.
with a paintbrush or spray paint. We fucking did that. In the same time, same breath of air, I'm a few blocks away painting trains or
With a hood up in like 3 a.m.
yeah, but we're like we're doing it. We're bringing that art from the back alleys to the business fronts, and now it's acceptable, right?
Subculture becomes popular culture, and then all of a sudden, those people that were involved in the subculture are icky. You know, that's what really bugs me. Tattooing culture, I see it. Punk rock, I see it. Chopper culture, I see it. Graffiti, I see it.
Now
All of a sudden, Nike wants to use your fucking image on an advertising, but you were a fucking criminal last week. You know, you were tossing us in jail, and you're like, you're a bad guy, but you know, it's edgy enough that we can use that to sell our fucking equipment.
Look
you
how
know?
fucking pop art, how pop culture that tattoo and graffiti, the shit we've spent the last 20 plus years
Being balls
putting,
deep in.
putting our heart into is now acceptable.
Well, it sells shit. I went to Sport Check, and I'm looking at like yoga mats, and there's like chicks with like sleeve tattoos, and like they're all modeled up, and they're like tastefully sweaty with like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm an athlete and I'm tattooed, and the floor walker's still following me around the store because he thinks I'm gonna fucking jack shit. You know, like what the fuck? You people are fucked.
I look like the person in that ad.
Yeah,
It's
you're
fucking-
using my fucking culture to sell your shit, but
Right.
I'm still on the outside. You know, okay, cool. I guess edgy is trending. And
Edgy is always trending until it's in your own backyard.
well, urban culture, hip hop culture, you know, like everybody likes to like blast Method Man, you know, in their suburban fucking thing until they meet somebody who acts like Method Man. They're
What's
like,
that?
this got real.
Old dirty
Is that,
bastard.
what's it?
I love that ODB.
What's that? Is that
You an ODB?
Office Space or something where he's fucking blasting NWA or something? And a black guy walks across the street and he's fucking turns
Rolls
it down
up the
and
window, locks the door.
yeah, fuck the cops.
Ooh, until yeah.
Shit, is
inevitable.
that not Office?
I think it's
What
Office
was it?
Space. Yeah, I think
The
it's
movie? Yeah,
yeah.
where they fucking smash the photocopier. And,
Classic.
Well, that's you know, that's like street culture. When street culture becomes pop culture.
right before I even wrote Seasick, the very first name I ever came up with was Stain, and I came up with this stupid fucking little pugman potato face motherfucking looking thing, and I got in the newspaper, and that
Ooh.
was dope.
Did they actually
And that
interview
was
you?
dope.
Did they interview you?
No, fucking
They
no,
just
of
took
course.
pictures of
no,
your stuff,
but one of the most oh shit, I guess I'm on the video here. One of the most visible examples of the influence of American gang culture is the display of spray-painted graffiti designs that have exploded on every imaginable surface throughout the city.
Okay, so think about it. What is gang culture? when you
American
boil it down?
gang culture is
It's a
the
fraternity of people with common
spray-painted,
interests.
holy fuck, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they were trying to say black, but they couldn't say black.
Oh,
Yeah.
and this has got to be from about
You know what I mean?
96.
Urban.
It was urban culture.
Yeah,
I was just trying to say
well,
that,
96 they didn't use the word urban. They hadn't figured it out, so everything had to be gang. But think about it. Tattooing, isn't that gang culture? You know, choppers,
yeah.
isn't that gang culture?
Yeah.
Graffiti, isn't that gang culture? And it's kind of funny. So what exactly is a gang? A fraternity of people, a brotherhood of common interests, you know, and that society decides what you're doing is criminal. You may not be hurting anybody. Fuck, we were talking about that the other day, and I was listening to the radio today. All these people are calling in CBC. What needs? I know I promised we weren't going to get political, but calling in CBC, and what do we need to do about this? Like 120 billion they're trying to do to expand the remand center, and this lady or this guy is like, well, we need to treat people and stuff like that. I'm like, well, why don't you just take away victimless crimes? You know, you get caught doing drugs, well, cool. We take the money we would have put you in jail with and put it into your treatment, or you know. You get caught with a prostitute? Shitty. You know, that's like the risks of those two people. Why the fuck are you spending money putting them in jail and putting them time and energy into busting kids? Well, graffiti potentially is a victim. Well, if they had designated like writers' walls.
Okay, so then we transplant back to the backyard artist
Yeah.
thing, right? Where there is a lot of kids coming up where it's like,
Spend your time in the black book. Spend your time drawing your shit before you bring it to a wall. You don't practice on somebody's garage. You don't practice in the alley. You practice on your black book, and once you've got your own style, then you bring it to the street. And be weary and careful and respectful of where you put it.
See, and okay, yeah, that I agree with that.
Right.
Now, I always had an issue with the kids that didn't do anything on the street, but they went to the. What?
I have an issue with these kids.
oh yeah, well,
I got an issue with these kids. And I was like, "Who's calling it?"
Well, no, I was like, I think
It's
26, 27 years old when I came out and started doing graffiti, but everybody else was literally 15 years old, you know? And these guys, they would go to the graffiti jams and be doing fancy shit, and I'm like, why haven't I ever seen you up? Ever. You know, because they're sitting in their parents' yard doing all these pieces, and they're really nice, but they've never risked doing anything, and you're going to have to run, or it's dark, or, you know, and they've never bombed. I remember actually talking about graffiti beef. I was everywhere. I was out. I didn't have anywhere to practice, and I sucked.
Uptown. No, but you were up. You had some good bombs off Broadway. Like, yeah,
Oh man, you walk out Midtown Plaza, and I did right there, you know. So it's like right downtown, right in public, you know. I'm leaning over the edge of fucking apartment buildings, you know, off the edges of like I did on one fucking bridge, the University Bridge, from where the stairs started. I did a fucking dragon, a meditating guy, Chinese symbols all the way down. People are walking by. I'm like, fuck it, you're not a cop. I'm gonna keep going.
Yep.
And but I wasn't that great, you know what I mean? And like my stuff had drips and it wasn't that tight, but you know, I was just doing it everywhere. But this other kid, Caesar, had a problem with me, you know, and he didn't like my stuff. He started crossing me out, calling me a toy, and so I started crossing his out. Fuck you, buddy, you know, quid pro quo. And again, one time he wrote next to one of my pieces, because there was one spot we kept kind of crossing our stuff out, and he's like, first I wanted to battle, but now I want your teeth. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay. So me and my buddies, we were walking down by Broadway one day. We go under the bridge to check this spot. And there was about 4 or 5 of us, like my brother, Dallas, Chris Gretter. I don't think any of us was under 200 pounds, right? And so I go down and I go in there. And there's this little dude who's even shorter than me. And I'm 5'7". And he's like right at the graffiti piece. And he's like, and I'm like, hey man, are you Caesar? And he's like, oh hey, are you Csik? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you still want my teeth? And he's like, no man, I thought you were just like a little kid because you got those little feet and your footprints are really tiny. You know, like, no, are we good, man? He's like, yeah. We ended up being a really good friends. So actually, some of the best buddies that a guy makes in that scene come out of beefs. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's just it. And he's tinier than me, and so he thought I was like maybe a 13-year-old kid because I got size 7 or 8 feet, you know. And he's just like, fuck this guy, and I'm there with like a bunch of big dudes, right? So,
Like you'd lost your toes at one point, so you had smaller shoes. And you'd go, I'm regular sized. Fuck you.
I'm regular size. One of my best boys came up in Walter Murray, and there's a bunch of tunnels or graffiti or tunnels and hallways and oddball shit before they had cameras, I guess, right? And I see somebody tagging, and I didn't like their shit, so I fucking crossed them out and write my name, right? Because I'm better.
I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah,
you
right?
suck, I'm better.
And I fucking sucked, right? But I was like, my tag's better than yours, so fuck you, I'm better.
I suck less
I
than
suck
you.
a little less. Or, so, yeah, that went on for a little while until we figured out who each other were. And it was like, oh shit, no, really? Cool. Did we just become best friends? I think so.
Yeah, exactly.
And for the last, fuck, bro, that's been 18 years. I've been really good friends with this guy. And I'm very fortunate enough to call him a good brother and good friend. Like, him too is fucking...
Yeah, I find that...
He's got one of the biggest fucking hearts when it comes to graffiti ever, right? And he takes it so serious, and he really puts his whole heart into everything.
I find that competition element so weird when two people can be into the same music, the same art, the same style, but then they're like, but I've got to be better than you, and we're enemies because, you know, you're doing the same thing we both share an interest in, but I have to be that dominant person there.
Well,
like you see it in the tattoo community, like these people don't want to show each other their tattoos because they're like,
tricks
well, no, they like, this is my finished piece. They don't want to put it out there because these people are going to judge me and they're going to tear it apart. And then there are literally artists that's what they do. They think that, like, oh yeah, that could be better, or that shading could be smoother. And I'm like, fuck, I was at a tattoo convention and we did the after party at my shop. And there's a bunch of guys on the computer doing that to other people's work. They're looking their shit up on their websites.
And be like, fucking Csik slopped off on
yeah,
the
look
shadows.
at this drip and look at this and
Yeah,
look at that.
inconsistent.
But they're talking about tattoos, and they're like, well, this shading could be or this shading could be better, or this could be smoother, and there's a line where it's not that tight. And I'm
That's
like,
fucking
dude,
cold, man.
I'm like, you know, it's the internet. If you're on the internet and you want to like masturbate, there's porn. You know, and they give me this look, but that's why I got that reputation, because, like, you know, fuck you guys. Like, really.
Well, to be fair, though, just be cool. You know what I mean? Like, they were being weirdos about that. You wouldn't have to call them out on it.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying when it comes to graffiti, usually it's like, I'm gonna fucking break this guy's hands if I catch him painting in my yard. Back to, right? Because he ain't respecting the numbers. He ain't respecting leaving the mess every time he paints. If I catch you, I'm gonna break your fucking hand. Right? And
But then they get headbutted when they meet somebody in real life that does that. And they don't like that.
Right?
Well, like, there's a lot of suburban kids that would make big threats, and then they run into somebody who's like not a suburban kid. They're like, ooh, you know, God forbid they run into some hood gangster.
Well, but I see sometimes some suburban kids that have a lot of clout or credibility, and it's like, this is my yard that I'm here all the time, and pull it to a bigger guy. It's like, don't you let me catch you painting in my yard. It's like, you got balls on you. Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? He's gonna fucking bop you out.
Yeah, well, some people, you got to be careful about that. You know, in all kinds of cultures, if you want to be that guy who's like, I think the internet has changed the game. When we mentioned that before, where everybody can be invincible behind an anonymous screen, and it's sort of like that, where actually graffiti is kind of like that, because these were like dropping things on your wall. Literally, I'm going to put a comment, and you're never even going to know who I am if I don't show up, right?
Yeah.
So they could say whatever disrespectful stuff they want, wherever they want, but then sometimes when keeping it real goes wrong.
Keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden things got ugly, you know?
Yeah, but coming up from, I mean, I don't know what you do with the tattoo thing, but coming up with the graffiti, there was no YouTube, there was no fucking Instagram or anything to look at pictures or talk to somebody.
Take pictures or
right?
trade.
You can fucking, hey man, what did you do first? The best we had was a fucking old graffiti magazine, and you're staring at it, trying to figure out the layers of
How that was done.
how they did that. What layer? I know it's all layers. How did they progress?
Yeah, and that was a real tough one for me. Like, fills were a tough one. I never really figured out fills. But then all of a sudden, like, where do the lines go, and how do you do your one shot around there? What level or what order do those
What
all
comes
go in?
first? What goes last? How do you cut
100%.
back?
And watching you do pieces when we went and did that skate park in PA was like it was an education for me, you know, because I'm like, this is how Csik actually approaches this shit. That's fucking rad. And Csik's not all like gooned out, being too loaded to paint like some of our other friends. And so with cheese slices stuck everywhere. So, but like that was an education for me because I know how I tattoo and I kind of do graffiti or aerosol art the way I tattoo. You know what I mean?
Based
I do a
on what you
line
know
and then I
and-
do the shades and then I go back and I do the line work, right?
The layers of what you're comfortable with or how you figure it should be, right?
See, I think that day I did a Darth Vader with a couple lightsabers and Japanese waves.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, above the mini ramps.
Yeah, so
we had
that-
a really good time that
That was
weekend.
a great
that
weekend.
was super fun, bro.
But I can't do those letters like you guys do. When I do letters, it has to be my style, and I can't do because I never learned traditional graffiti theory because I didn't chill with a lot of other traditional graffiti artists.
And
right?
the only way that I learned to do traditional graffiti was looking at pictures, trying to figure it out, what came first and what do I do next. Trial by error, trial by fire, right?
So does that translate to chopper building?
No, not at all.
No?
Well,
Is that
no,
because
not
there's so
necessar-
much information out there on choppers now?
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean,
Okay.
well, the whole graffiti. well, the whole
No.
Well, the whole graffiti thing was try to figure it out. It's an art, and maybe like tattooing. If you didn't have anybody above you to show you the ropes or give you some sort of direction, we're just fucking spitballing the shit. We're trying to figure it out. One color on top of the next, and that's all. It took me years to figure out layers. Like.
Your fill and then your lines
Right,
and your
there's-
one shot. And
There's no fucking iPhone or anything. Fuck, man, I had a pager until they cut me off.
that's
You
recently.
Did,
That's
you did hang on
recently.
for a long time, yeah.
Shit. Man.
How long ago did they cut off your pager?
Oh shit. Well, it was fucking 15 years ago. Yeah.
Okay,
at
so you
least.
still had a pager in 2005.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Might have been even earlier than that.
Then they made you get a cell phone.
No, they're like there is no reconnecting this. Like there's
Nobody
nothing
uses
wrong
these
with
anymore,
it.
sir.
There's nothing wrong with it. Fucking sign up my $15 a month.
I just want to get numbers and
Beeper
call people back.
charge,
That's all
right?
I want. You know?
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I don't want to get texts.
Life was so much simpler, bro. It
So,
really was.
so something that I thought was really cool when the Bastards started up and everybody was doing custom bikes was just the level of attention to detail and your colors that you brought to the chopper, especially on the pink bike. I cannot tell you how much I love that bike. And what kind of engine was in that?
550 Honda.
So it's a 550 Honda engine, which isn't going to impress the bike culture, the motorcycle
Well,
culture.
that's not even the cool Honda motor. Like the CB750, that's the 750 is the cool one.
It's the more desirable
Yeah,
one.
right.
But there's still a ton of old 70s Honda chopper magazines where the 550 was still a legitimate fucking piece of the puzzle. People were still making moves with the 550.
So
which
good.
made me feel good that it's like I'm not wasting my time on.
Well, I think that's even cooler. Like in your blue bike, like what was the fucking displacement on that one?
That was just a 450, 400.
So or I guess the Bastards, because I was never a builder, but like the guys were making tiny Japanese choppers, but they were the coolest fucking things you've ever seen.
Right, and all these pictures, like these are all in the living room. Like this is when I like, fuck, bro. The Honda came into my living room as a stock bike when I lived by myself.
There's a lot of building
And
pictures.
Tamara,
if you hear this,
Tamara's holding like the straight fucking frame before
I thought she was just doing arm curls,
Yeah,
working out.
she's not just looks. But yeah, like I stripped it right down. I mean, fuck. It was all done in the living room. I got pictures welding in the living room, setting the.
So did your girlfriend really appreciate your living room being transformed into a garage?
She wasn't living with me at the time when
Was that part
most
of
of
the
the
reason?
shit was going on. No, not necessarily. After I think the sparks were. After I set the carpet on fire a few times and I didn't have to do that anymore, then I convinced her it was a good idea that I'm.
I can't remember who the fuck I knew was welding in a bathtub one time. Like they thought that was the way to weld inside. Then they just fucked their bathtub up.
Yeah, that would fuck the porcelain right up. Shit. A good idea though. Noble attempt.
Right? It was sort of an idea.
Yeah.
Welding where you're not supposed to weld.
Well, you do what you do, where you can do it, how you can do it. It's
Do-
like tattooing in the basement. You
Do
know?
what you can with what you got. I'm
Mhm.
all about that. Sometimes ambition overrides comfortable situation. You know,
Well, if you want, well, okay, like that old school hot rod idea, right? I want a car that goes fast, and I can't afford to do a lot of work. So me and my buddies are going to chop off all the shit we can chop off to make it as light as possible, and then we're going to work on what we can work on this engine with what we have. And then we're just going to hot rod it, you know, like make it as fast as possible with the tools that we had. That's the principle of where hot rods came. It wasn't like, oh, I've got $50,000, I'm going to dump it into this vehicle that looks a certain way. It was like that rudimentary strip down and make powerful, right? Which is the idea of choppers. Like the term chopper is chopping off the unessential bullshit, right?
right?
So I think that's very interesting when we look at this kind of stuff. But that's the transition between customs and choppers. You know what I mean? Like
I totally fucking agree. I think people don't get that. But like in my mind, a custom is something that you bought or built an engine. You started with the frame. You started with all these either maybe even new bits or some repurposed stuff. But like a chopper, yeah. If it looks at that, it's built from all fucking pieces that pre-exist. You know what I mean? You hunted down parts or you took and modified them. You know, I think with a custom, a lot of times you're not modifying it after you're getting it made like that.
you think?
You're putting it on.
that's
the way I
your
look at it,
definition?
yeah.
Okay.
The chopper, you're doing that. You're manipulating frame and forks and
Well, that's one
fucking
way of looking at it.
fenders.
Because I look at it, the chopper, as you're chopping off the shit you don't need. You know, like you're getting rid of a fairing, you're getting rid of the fenders, you're chopping off that
No,
back
but see,
fender,
here's the
you're
thing, though.
chopping down.
Sometimes
the-
the choppers though, like those Japanese style ones, right? That's chopper, but like you don't need a seat rest that's 7 feet tall in the air, right?
Pipes
That's
that are you
superfluous,
can't
yeah.
get through an
So
underpass.
sometimes really long bikes, really fucking long. That's not more practical. They don't
Oh
handle
my
better.
God.
You know what I mean? Like
When you need
but that's cool.
a football field to
And
do a
that's
U-turn.
chopper.
Right?
Can you imagine trying to do a 3-point turn with one of those super raked out, like tick, 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 tick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about
Functionality.
It's not about functionality. It's about aesthetics.
It's better to look good than to feel good, darling.
Right.
You know?
You know.
That's why it looks so good.
shit. A lot of the modifications.
Shit.
Most of the modifications we do to this shit isn't to make it fucking run well.
Okay, so what's the definition of cool?
What's love?
It depends on your.
What is love?
And well, that's every.
Okay,
Oh shit! What's beauty is everybody you
in the
know
beholder?
every. That's right.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
I think your pink bike is one of the coolest fucking things. Now, if you meet some guy, some 3-piece patch guys, like, that's fucking good as shit. It's
Yep.
pink. It's got super pink, like, connecting, like,
That's-
wires. It's got, like, neon blue and greens. I'm like, man, that thing's fucking rad. But that's not a traditional cool thing. So sometimes thinking out of the box is cool. But I find...
I'd rather be out of the box. I'm sorry before you
Yeah, yeah,
say.
please,
I
please.
find it was at Cyclomania, I think. And one of my boys were walking around the show before I was there, looking at my bike, and there's two big, jacked up, tough dudes looking at my bike in particular. It's like, man, I can't believe this guy painted his fucking bike pink. Like, holy fuck, it was kind of fucking
Kind of gay.
kind of gay. Like, what the fuck? What is this guy fucking?
Little
And then
did they know.
his buddy beside him was like, "Well, if you think it's so gay, why are you taking so many pictures?"
Maybe that was a
I like to
compliment.
take pictures
He
of
was like,
gay
"Oh, it's
stuff."
it's super gay. I'm
And
really
then
into that."
yeah, I'm like, yeah,
taking this
homeboy
as,
told me that,
negative.
and it was like, no kidding, really? It's like,
Look at all of this homosexual pornography.
Gotcha,
There's so
bitch.
much of it. Keep looking at
gotcha,
it.
bitch.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I built something that caused a lot of attention. Whether you like it or not, fucking got your attention.
Yeah.
Just like
yeah.
throwing my name on the side of a bridge or the side of a train. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. I fucking got your attention.
Well, what one person's cool is the other person's weird. I remember my brother and I used to, like, this is in the 90s, we'd play, is that person handicapped or a raver? You know, when we're driving down the street, right? Because you see somebody with, like, you know, a lunchbox and mismatched, like, plaid pants and, like, you know, a purple, like, vinyl jacket, and, like, okay, does this person know how to dress, or is that an intentional thing, right?
Yeah.
So but in his mind, that's cool as shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's another one of those in the box things that I can't get my head out. Like, to me, black and chrome is cool. But I see that's what I want to ride, because I guess maybe that's my, you know, little in the box what masculinity is supposed to be kind of thing. But I love that bike, man. That's fucking rad, you know. There's a ton of like what is cool. What is cool? The Japanese, what are those guys called? The Bozozuko?
Oh, Bazooko.
Yeah, those guys are fucking nuts, and their stuff is cool. But you need to have that mindset that you're out of the box. That you look at that, and you're like,
majority of
right?
people, even if you liked bikes and you've seen those, you go,
What the fuck is
doing?
wrong with you guys?
Why you got so
And
many
they're all
headlights?
Revving their bikes to the fucking tune of the Mickey Mouse song. Like, that's a fucking thing, man.
so yeah, one man's cool, the other man's weird,
Totally.
I guess, right?
You know, the whole reason why that bike got painted pink was kind of like a double dare. Because I was thinking, like, well, what color should I paint it? Blue, fucking pink, purple, brown? Probably brown. So he's like, oh, I should paint it pink. Ha ha ha.
Maybe
Like,
if
you know what? Maybe I fucking will.
and it's badass. Maybe if you get a chance, send me some images, and then with the videos, I'll put them on the screen so people can know the bike we're talking about, like some finished ones, right? And yeah, it's kind of a strange one. There's a East LA hip hop group called Psycho Realm, and they've got a lyric, and they're like, "The man don't understand the ink and needle, the haircut to zero, or the culture of my people," and they don't need to, because this is who we are. This is our world, you know, and it's really strange. But then you go to Japan, and that lowrider, you know, culture is huge there too. You know, chopper culture, lowrider culture. I saw some really cool bikes when I was in Osaka and
I bet
Tokyo.
they take a huge
that Brat style, I feel like it started out there. Like,
What's Brat style? I don't know.
Brat style's like that.
Bobbery.
It's like kind of like a cafe bobber hybrid, I would say. Like it's not as racy as a cafe, but not as comfortable as a bobber. If I can put it like
okay.
that. And it's a kind of an interesting hybrid. And yeah, they're fucking some dope style.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough one because I have to balance functionality between what I think is cool. You know, I love the no fender little tiny solo seat with like the tiny little tank and like real tight bars. I like that super compact, like almost suicide bobber thing.
Yeah.
But I also like to give my daughter and my girlfriend a ride on my bike. That's one of the reasons I have it. You know, and
Ben's bike is what I think of every time I think of that. Like these tight fucking bars, jockey
Super
shifts,
tight,
just
yeah.
gnarly. Looks like you can't even
Gnarly.
ride it. Like from a distance, you're like, that looks cool. And you get up close, you're like, how do you fucking run this thing? It doesn't
Yeah.
work like a bike, does it?
Same with Corey's.
Yeah.
Oh, his is dangerously
Right?
fucking.
Just like-
Those are like, I feel like your elbows touch when you ride that one. Like,
coolest-
your
are
arms
his
back
bars in? Like, is that that one?
Oh,
they're
fuck
fucked.
yeah. You gotta be a brave man.
Well, and I think that's it. It's a devil may care attitude. You know, I'm gonna do this regardless, right?
Yep.
Like I've ridden with a couple guys that were in outlaw clubs, no names mentioned, but when you ride with them on the highway, your minimum speed's 150, and you're supposed to ride in tight formation. You know, and
sure.
like you're a meter or 2 meters from the
Yeah.
guy going 150 minimum, and if you can't keep up, guess what? You can't keep up.
Yeah.
And
different vibe.
yeah, and that's a different type of dangerous, and that's like, you know, that freaks me out. I can't do that. I really like to ride at my own pace, at my own speed. You know, I don't need the fastest bike, but I'd like to be able to pass if I could. But I also like functionality. I want to be able to brake when I need to brake. I want to be able to accelerate when I need to accelerate. And a lot of that customs, that is cool. It's cool because it's suicidal. It's cool because it's dangerous. You know, in some ways, some of that stuff, like jockey shifts and whatnot.
I think
call
a
it
few of
suicide
us
shift for a reason.
got a lot of attention, good or bad, when we first started kind of the club and doing some of the poker runs. And you've got 4 or 5 or 6 of us, and like you said, some of these guys are flying by you at 150k, and meanwhile the few of us are trying to ride in a fairly tight knit pack, clipping 120k
Because you don't want to leave
at
one
best.
of them behind. 'cause
Yeah,
the bike
nobody's
can't do it.
Nobody's getting left behind, and fucking bolts are rattling off, and you're just holding on for dear life because you don't have a fucking.
But every fucking time we'd stop anywhere, whose bikes do they all fucking? Everybody's got to come
Right.
around.
Yeah,
and
these
look
are.
at it.
Hey,
Right.
how'd you do that?
Yeah.
Well, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
So
Plus, if anybody's doing burnouts, Janley was one of us too. So I'm just saying it was a
No.
double-edged sword of
Right.
looking cool and having fun, which
It's-
we're pretty good at.
and I think a lot of attention that we brought to us in the earlier years was because of that. It was like, well, these bikes aren't even going to make the fucking trip. But
Yeah.
they might
Yep.
not make it that
Yep.
fast. But god damn it, they made it there, and we're having fucking fun with them.
Yeah,
beating
we're
them
having
up.
fun.
We're having fun.
Fun. That's a nice word, right? We're not
Fun.
here to be
That's
tough.
usually my
We're having
goal.
fun.
What was the fun?
What was there was one run, I forget which it was, but there was one of our friends, and everybody behind him had a spray of oil on them and their bike because he's just like giving her, and it is like a mist behind
Is that
him.
one of our boys? Or probably. Sounds like something.
Or what was it? There was another time where there needed to be an extra 2 liter of gasoline, you know, just to make sure that you could get to the next
Oh,
gas
fuck.
station on a run.
Yeah, man. Well, there's some pretty formative years where it's like you build something. It's like, I don't know if it's gonna make it out of town or not.
The oil spray was my because guys were wiping their bikes down. Their
I
faces.
remember one time
Yeah.
we were coming back into town and it was on the divided highway and they had a check stop set up and we kind of stopped and everybody's like, well, we're all gonna go to jail, so like let's
Yeah,
go
yeah.
the other way, just fucking down through the ditch, around back out the other way. 'Cause
None of us are going to get to keep our bikes if they do a
walking-
check of this thing.
walking home at best.
Yeah. Okay, we're at 2 hour mark. You want to go for a little longer or start winding it down here?
I probably want it down.
Alright.
I can anticipate this. I don't know if we've got that much fucking good footage.
He
or-
likes the long stuff. I love stories. I love talking to you, man. You
I
know.
don't know if
Well, we
I.
can always do more. Have
You know,
another time.
Well, let me take a quick piss. Are we taking a quick pause? Like, I don't know. There's
Well,
probably
actually, let's
another-
while it down, and then you'll come back another time, and we'll do more chatting because I want to do this again, man. I think more people need to know about what the custom scene in Saskatoon, and especially people that were like on like the behind the scenes in what was actually going
We're
on.
paused right now. There's no fucking.
No, the video's going still.
Is this still?
Yeah.
We should start now.
Shit.
So you're gonna come back sometime?
Right amount of drink.
Well, I can come back sometime.
Good.
Ooh.
Love you.
Are we still? Oh shit. Well,
What do you want to see?
You want to go a half hour more? Half hour more?
I feel like we should have been paused a few minutes before.
That's okay. No,
No,
you should
let's
show your
let the
nipples some more.
reach
People
out.
love
Okay,
this
we're gonna
kind of
pause
stuff,
here for a
yeah.
second. We'll go a half hour more. So we shut it down, we chat for a
wrap
while.
it up, but one more quick story.
Yeah, if you get,
about
yeah,
something?
you can get,
I
yeah,
don't
one more
know.
quick story and fucking.
Well, I don't know.
It is
Wait,
just
are
after
you already-
10 too if you got to work tomorrow. And
10 to what? 10?
it's just after 10.
Okay, we took a quick break. We're gonna do one more quick story. No. All right, that's just for lining it up. I can look at my lips and my finger wagging, and then I'm like, okay, that's how that works.
What are we gonna talk about?
Licking them lips.
Yeah, I don't know. What were we talking about right before then? Chopper building and custom culture and like what's cool, what was cool, and what makes cool. You know what I mean? To me, I think underground culture has always been cool. Growing up in a city where there was little underground culture, you kind of had to make your own. And one of the first ones I got into, obviously, better or worse, was skinhead culture, right? And that was underground. And then I learned about tattoo culture, and that was like opened up a whole wide world. Whether it's Japanese, like underground, like full body tattooing, or the East LA, black and gray stuff that was based in Mexicali, Southern California stuff came out of the prison system. Russian, criminal tattoo culture, all that's underground shit, and a level of criminality or autonomy, I think, is very part of that. Like when I started getting tattooed, it was self-ownership. When I did graffiti, it's me expressing myself on my environment, and I think in a lot of ways, on a really fundamental level, that pisses off the authorities. You're not allowed to do that. You can't be an individual in our little construct.
Well, and as soon as you start taking steps outside of those boundaries, what are the ones that you're going to step outside of then, right? That's they see. Well, if you'll do that, well, then you must be capable of this.
Yeah, what else are you going to do? And when you think about subculture coming to mainstream culture, maybe that is people that want to do those steps towards autonomy, but are afraid to take the first steps towards autonomy. So the guys that are, doing the heavy tattooing or lowrider culture or custom cool stuff in California, well, they needed to do it first so other people feel it's okay. Well, your car is bouncing like a motherfucker and doing like, what is that called? Hydraulics, bagging it out, right?
Well, if it's bouncing, it's hydraulics juice.
Yeah.
Speaking of subculture, custom culture, like I think a lot of us have come up in the same idea. When I was a kid, when I was a little kid, I thought older kid on a skateboard was the coolest shit in the world. So once I started getting into skateboarding and digging deeper into it, realized that there's another a subculture into this, right? and that's where, you know, where's the music
Dogtown,
where's the
Z-Boys.
music come from, right?
Oh, yeah.
What are these other guys listening to, or what are these other guys doing?
Yeah, I was like thinking grade 8 when the guy's like, "This is a skate rock band." I'm like,
Right.
what's skate rock? I'm gonna look into that. You know.
And then you're already into a subculture, and you dig in. Well, what's this graffiti about? And so it's just like a pathway sometimes to. I've never been into sports or never been into anything popular. I've always wanted to be. I've always been the underdog or been the, you know, the stupid skateboarder kid.
Misfit to some degree.
Misfit. I'd rather be that than anything else.
I think in a lot of ways, like you talked about the skateboard culture, like you watch that documentary or the Dogtown Z-Boys
Yeah, man.
and the origin of like what we know as skateboarding today. And it doesn't matter what this is, when you talk about subculture, it largely comes from that misfit kids that don't fit into mainstream society, so they're forced to develop their own version of what's cool. Whether it's music or skateboarding or choppers or tattooing or whatever, right? It's like, we don't fit in with your society, so we're creating our own little society wherever we live. And sometimes those societies, other people see it and they're like, hey, I'm taking a bit of that, and I'm taking a bit of that, and I'm taking a bit of that.
Now it's different if you're taking a little bit of it and being influenced it, but I think it's more important if you're
Showing respect for it?
No, if you're being part of it, if you're that's always meant a lot to me. To once you're involved in that skateboard culture, or once you're involved in that, you take that to heart. And
If you're doing it for the right reason.
right? I mean, fuck basketball, fuck organized sports, fuck that shit, that mold that you just don't fit in. This is a window, a doorway to be part of something else.
It's kind of like a fraternity though, like because, okay, so I went to Japan and I met guys that like, I had a Skull Skates logo. The guy comes running out of his shop and he's like, Skull Skates, PD's Hot Shop. And like he knew, Vancouver, Canada. And we automatically had a link because we were involved in the same subculture and we made friends and we're from the other side of the fucking planet.
And Skull Skates was always like a local Canadian kind of like underground.
Those real recognizes real.
Right.
And if you're into it for the right reasons, when you meet a chopper builder and you're like, man, this bike's cool, and he's like, you think it's cool too? Yes, you just linked, you know. And I think subcultures, if you're in it for the right reason, people recognize that. They're like, man, real recognizes real.
It's almost like being like an exotic bird too, right?
Oh yeah,
You know,
you've
like
got the same.
Like you got the same plumage as me.
Yeah,
you got the same
yeah.
patches. You must listen to the same music, and then if you got those, you might have similar political ideals to me, and you might have similar religious look. Or even if you don't, it's going to be different enough that I might be interested in it because maybe it's a perspective I've never heard because you're already into this fringe shit like me.
Right, and that's where I found a spot. Whether it was punk rock, hip hop, skateboarding, like all these subcultures that you were the misfit. That's what made me feel comfortable, right? So I mean,
Well, you didn't have room for me in the mainstream society, so I made room for me in my underground society.
and people accepted me, or people opened, right? There's something more. There was something more underground for me than there was above, if that makes any sort of sense.
My buddy from Japan, he told me that if you go to Japan, you're part of Gokudo. And I'm like, what's that? And he's like, Goku means the lost, and Do is the way. So you're way of the lost. What we would call our underground or subculture here, they call way of the lost. And he's like, so of course you're going to get in trouble when you go to Japan. You just, all the stuff you're into is not mainstream. It's like the subculture stuff. And over there, that means like, you don't fit in. Gokudo, you're on the way of the lost. And I think that's very interesting. We would call that underworld or underground to some degree. And what are the levels of underworld? You know, I don't fit in with society, so I'm just underneath the crust, or I'm like straight up underground, like, you know, where you border on criminality and stuff like
The
that.
rules of society don't apply to you because you decided they don't anymore.
Yeah, outlaw.
Right.
Like, and not in the term of being a criminal, but being an outlaw is stepping outside of the structures and the mainstream law or norms, right? And I think self-claiming yourself is part of that. You know, fucking having your body covered in tattoos. That's self-ownership in a real way, right?
Yep. Choosing what direction, choosing what art you're involved in, and how you want to present yourself, how other people perceive you. Right? I mean,
What's next for you? Where are you going from here? With your art, with your creativity?
I'm very, this whole quarantine thing didn't really change much for me except for giving me more time to be by myself, which I'm very comfortable with.
Don't be a hermit. Don't be a
Man,
hermit.
I could, I really found salvation in that, and I felt like it was just a perfect excuse to spend more time by myself.
Oh, we love you.
I love that's one thing I missed out on is I realized how many people I love, how many people I respect, and how many people I miss. But I just want to keep being a hermit. I
Well,
just want to keep fucking
me personally,
getting shit done.
Yeah, well, that's cool. That's cool because you do have your shop, and your shop is your sanctuary, and I understand that. This is my sanctuary in a lot of ways, my little meeting room and my art
Right.
room. But
It's enjoyable.
yeah, and you need that, but at the same time, you need human connection. So you can guarantee that I'm going to be dragging your ass out to like public places, or even sitting in the front of my yard and watching the street go by. You can drink. I'll drink my tea or coffee. You can have your beers, and if you can't drive home, I'll drive you there. But I'm fucking dragging your
You're gonna
ass out.
redate or predate?
Yeah, I broke your heart. I did a ghost, and I'm sorry about that. So if people that are watching this, they want to find out more about your art, what is your Instagram handle that they can come?
If anybody gives a shit about me, it's fucking.
You're seeing 7 Beer Seasick at this point.
7
folks.
Beer Seasick.
Nobody loves me.
Oh,
I'm
no,
better
man,
than
fucking-
Eeyore.
Is it
You'll
Csik?
find me.
Just CSIK
Underscore.
underscore CSI.
Yeah, some asshole
K?
stole my name. CSIK underscore.
Yeah, and it's funny when we were doing graffiti back in the day. I remember I saw some of his stuff. I'm like, dude, I get it because I see your stuff and it's fucking sick. And you just kind of like, I like this guy. He's okay. But it's true. Like, I'm not even like just blowing smoke for the sake of like, I love you, man. Your shit is fucking the bomb. So, yeah. If you're interested, follow Csik on Instagram. CSIK with an underscore in front, and you'll see what we're talking about. He's no slouch. He doesn't think so, but that's art.
And I know slouch.
I know slouch.
I know slouch when I smell it.
And you're
Alright.
looking at it.
Nah.
Ah.
All right, that's number 8. Thanks, guys. Thanks
Thanks,
for coming
guys.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
This is super fun.
Bye bye.